confirming that we can hear you.
Hello. Friends, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear, sir.
Okay, fine. So
Recording in
thank you very
progress.
So thank you very much and good afternoon, everyone. Padma Shri, Mr. BVR Mohan Reddy, Ms. Sumitra Tyagarajan, leadership team from Street Course, invited business leaders, HR leaders, National HRD Network leadership team, faculty members, students, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all of you to this conference. In fact, first of all, I would like to compliment the Young Talent Council members for having taken this initiative and organized this conference. The topic of the leadership conference today, which is Leadership Potential Unleashed, Building Tomorrow's Workforce in a Digital World. I can see this coming live in reality today for two reasons. Number one, it is the Young Talent Council members who have taken this initiative and who have brought this to reality. And this has happened just in a couple of weeks' time, and therefore, all the YTC members, leadership team members of Young Talent Council deserve a big round of applause from all of us. Number two, the topic also talks about potential unleashed, building tomorrow's workforce in a digital world. And when I'm not able to be there with you all this afternoon, which I would have wished to be, we are able to leverage the technology and therefore we can still connect. And I'm so happy that we are able to witness the unleashing of potential of our youth and also experience the power of technology. So my compliments to everyone involved in this conference. Now talking about the substantive aspect of India at 2047. Friends, the call of Viksit Bharat by 2047 is something which is extremely inspiring for all of us. And at National HRD Network, as leadership team, we took the initiative to organize a deliberation, one-day-long vision workshop as to what it means for National HRD Network and what it means for human capability development within India, and what is the role that National HRD Network can play towards Viksit Bharat by 2047. So clearly, one thing is becoming absolutely crystal clear, that if India has to become a developed country by 2047, it is the people prowess, it is the human capability that has to play out. And I'm so glad that National HRD Network is taking a number of initiatives towards this cause, and many of those initiatives are being spearheaded by Young Talent Council. Friends, let's look at what's happening around us globally. So what we are witnessing is there is quite a lot of disturbance around us. There is a conflict in Gaza happening. There is a conflict in Middle East happening. There is a conflict between Iran and Pakistan that is taking place. There is a trust deficit with the largest supply chain of the world, that is China, and therefore large number of companies are talking about China plus strategy. Against this background, India is shining very well. India is a growing economy, large economy, stable government, stable environment, growing at 7% plus points, which is extremely high in the current scenario. Just to give you a little sense, and another data point, and that will give you a sense of how speedily we are growing. You see, after independence, India took about 60 years to become $1 trillion economy, 60 years. Next $1 trillion were added just in a matter of 7 years. And we became $2 trillion. The next $1 trillion, which is the third trillion, and the next one, which will make us $4 trillion economy, is just happening within 3.5, 4 years. And it is estimated, my friends, that by 2034, India would become a $10 trillion economy. So that talks about the pace, the speed at which we are growing as a country. And that presents enormous number of opportunities to the youth of our country. Another good news, my friends, and this will be a moment of celebration and joy for all of you. You see, against many other countries, against many other economies, which are either degrowing or being very moderate in terms of their growth, and where the population is also aging, in our case, in the case of India, India will continue to remain a young country for many, many years to come. Today, our median age is just about 28.5 years, and we have a workforce of something like 550 million, which is our power, and that's a big opportunity for all of us. Traditionally, if you look at India, we have been a center of excellence in many things. For example, India used to be a very celebrated center of learning. We had universities like Takshila, Nalanda, globally reputed universities, globally acknowledged centers of learning. The healthcare, the medicine systems like yoga, Ayurveda, all these were invented in India. Shastra was developed within India. Vedas, which are regarded as the treasure society, science and technology, or India. Unfortunately, what happened in the last about 1500 years, because of colonization and because of the invasion of the foreign powers, somewhere we lost the global trade, which was about 25-30% controlled by us. We came down to something like 1.2-1.3% in late 90s. Luckily, we are coming back again. And even as we talk today, India has a share of something like 2.2-2.3% points. But there is so much more we can do. There is so much more potential. And I'm so glad that you have chosen the theme of the conference as the potential. That's the right thing to talk about, my friends. And therefore, we should be looking at the potential that all of us have today, and youth of this country have today. That is where the National HRD Network can play a very strong role, working with the youth of the country, working with the future leaders of the country, working with the students. And what we offer to you is an opportunity of learning, networking, growing your competency, growing your network, mentoring opportunities, training opportunities, building your capabilities, building your network. So those are the opportunities we offer to you as the National HRD Network. What you make out of will be largely because of your own initiative. So friends, I invite all of you to join hands with us, make the best use of the opportunity that National HRD Network presents to you. Take the membership of National HRD Network, and what we offer to you is a large number of opportunities of developing yourself, and also the access to a large number of HR leaders who would become your mentors, your sarathis. So friends, with these few words, I once again like to acknowledge the YTC team members, Young Talent Council members, and I acknowledge the joining at this conference. Very well done, team. And before I close, I like to talk about one or two examples of how National HRD Network can help you as a young leader. Agnivesh Thakur, who is our national treasurer, once joined National HRD Network as a student member about 20 years ago. And he has done very well for himself in his career. Today, he is on the board of National HRD Network. He has established the Young Talent Council, which is making a significant difference to the National HRD Network and to everyone. Second example, Akhilesh Jukareddy, who is joining the conference from Switzerland this morning. Thank you for joining, Akhilesh. Another example who joined National HRD Network as a young member, doing extremely well and making a difference to not only himself, but also to the National HRD Network. Friends, these are some of the examples. I can go on and on. I would like to see many of you becoming another such examples in your career. With this, I wish you all the very best. May God bless all of you. And I take leave of you because I have another event that I need to get into. And I wish I was there with you in person, but I seek your understanding. Thank you so much. God bless all of you.
Thank you so much, Prem. Yes, finally I get a chance to talk. CMR College! Firstly, I would honestly say this, right? Whenever there is someone talking, it's so important to give that person respect, and the way you guys have just done it, amazing. Amazing. Big round of applause to all of you sitting here. You can do whatever in the college, outside college, but if there is a senior leader talking and if this is the respect that we're getting, amazing. Firstly, a lot of you will have a lot of questions on what this conference is, what Student Leadership Summit is, and a lot of other questions, right? Monday afternoon classes were there, but suddenly this came into picture. Half of them said, okay, interesting conference. They came, half of them in the last benches. Are they listening? Sweet. Anta chinnaru pendu koncham, please. Right? But I would want to tell why this is important, right? Like I said, my name is Pranav and I work as a senior HR for HighRadius. I do a lot of other stuff as well. But the way things have changed, even from the HR's perspective, the way I look at things, I'm sure a couple of you have joined colleges when COVID was happening. Right? Yes or no? Entamandi COVID batch ikkada? Yeah. So pre-COVID, we never knew that we had situations where colleges would be shut down and then you will have virtual learning. Similar thing happened with companies also. Even in companies, we never knew that we could sit in our houses and then work. We always believed in going to office, right? So all I'm trying to say is the world is changing left, right, center, and it is extremely important not to just have classroom knowledge, subject knowledge, that is equally important, but more than that, it is so damn important to have soft skills. And I think these conferences that we're trying to do, StreetCause, NHRDN, along with CMR in collaboration, are all talking about how things are changing in real life and how you as students can adapt to all of these things. One of the prime things that we've been stressing always in StreetCause and NHRDN is about leadership, right? At least leader cinema ninchete you don't get leaders out, right? Leadership is it's more like bodybuilding. You practice leadership. It's more like parenting. It's practice. It's not necessary that everyone wants to be a parent, or it's not necessary that everyone has to be a parent, but it is one skill that can be practiced. And any given day, right now I'm sure a couple of you are serious about this, a couple of you are just here to know what is happening, but once you guys get into your 4th year, trust me, we HRs are very important for you guys. Things will change, direction will change, and every person needs a job. And what it takes to get a job is what we're going to talk. How things are changing in the current world is something that we're going to talk. And I would request you guys to just focus. Take your breaks whenever needed in the middle, but whenever you guys are listening, please ensure you focus, because what we're talking is not classroom knowledge, but it is real-time experience that is being told by a lot of HR leaders and other business leaders that are coming down. Right? Thank you so much once again for having us here. So let's begin the program, but before anything else, it's been a while that programs have started to begin with a national anthem. So I would humbly request all of you guys to please stand up and have our national anthem right now. Thank you so much.
This is life, it happens, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everybody present here. Thank you so much folks for making it on time, and it's just lovely to see the auditorium filled with all the student leaders. Good afternoon, I am Shruti. I'm the current CEO of Streetcars. Who all know Streetcars here? That's it. Nobody else knows Streetcars. Anybody from Streetcars CMR? Absolutely. Today is an amazing day for us. Streetcars is very delighted to bring 15,000 people plus together. We extend our gratitude to CMR, President of Streetcars CMR, alumni and COO Akshit Mupidi for making all the necessary arrangements for today's summit. A big round of applause for the meticulous execution from CMR folks. Not to mention the undivided support from Afra Masoon, our very own CFO. We are extremely grateful to NHRDN for the impactful collaboration. My sincere gratitude to BVR Mohan Reddy Garu, recipient of Padma Shri, Founder Chairman Saint. Dhananjay Singh, Director General NHRDN. Anand Kot, Secretary General NHRDN. Vipul Singh, President NHRDN Hyderabad Chapter. Agnivesh Thakur, National Treasurer NHRDN. Puneet Goel, Director Tutorials Point. CH Abhinav Reddy, CEO CMR Group of Institutions. CH Gopal Reddy, Chairman CMR Group of Institutions. I am more than delighted to share with you all 15 years of Streetcars' impactful service. Today, Streetcars stands as the largest student-run NGO in Hyderabad, having 5,000 plus volunteers across 7 cities on its vision to expand across India by 2030. In the light of our recent event, as you all know, RFC 9, the Arman Malik's concert, Streetcars volunteers executed Hyderabad's biggest concert ever. We got 35,000 people attending the concert starring Arman Malik and had entire Hyderabad celebrated. This exemplifies the potential Streetcars has today. With the great individuals, we have the ability to reach out to thousands of people, and we stand proud impacting over 10 lakh lives. In our journey, we've had extremely talented folks join the organization with an intent to create an impact and transforming into great leaders. Our objective to drive the social consciousness amongst our volunteers prevails, and we are pleased to announce the Human Capital and Leadership Unit of Streetcars, which aims to provide an exposure to all the students out there, give them a platform to enhance their leadership and develop into socially conscious leaders. Streetcars today is the relentless hard work of the alumni. To mention a few, Akhilesh Jukka Reddy, Founder Chairman Streetcars, HR Business Partner Wipro Europe, Young Talent Council Lead NHRDN. Mitesh Lohia, Permanent Chair of Streetcars, Managing Director Lohia Group of Industries. Shravya Reddy, Permanent Chair of Streetcars, Chief of Staff for Rapido. Karthik Sutrave, Permanent Chair of Streetcars, Founder CEO of Zobays. Snigdha Talupalli, Permanent Chair of Streetcars, Senior Executive Member, Placement Cell XLRI. Alok Jaiswal, Permanent Chair of Streetcars, Head HR at Pixelwide. Meghna Rao Machada, ISB alumni, Governor-in-Chief of Streetcars, Brand Manager at Mensa Brands, YTC member NHRDN. It doesn't end here. Streetcars alumni, Khaja Faisal and Fayaz have worked on space research in Spain and now in Abu Dhabi. Streetcars is very proud that we give corporates the best of the leaders. And I'm very, very humbled that Streetcars' leadership, like I said, is prominent in NHRDN. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shruti. I'll change my position because I want to see how it feels to stand here in front of the podium, right? Anyways, Next upon, I would like to call Meghna Rao Mojada, Rekha Narendra and Vipul to please address the gathering. Meghna Rao Mojada is a brand manager for My Fitness Mensa brands. Meghna is currently graduated from ISB, prior to which she ran her own startup, Super Healthy Dry Fruit Boxes. And it's been a successful startup which got acquired by Yoga Bars, which is right now with ITC. To talk about Rekha, Rekha is a seasoned HR leader with more than 25 years of experience in global and India HR leader roles. She has worked across multiple industries in organizations such as Ford, Genpact, Kantar and RealPage. She is a certified coach from International Coach Federation and has recently completed the Future CHRO program from ISB. She is very passionate about coaching and mentoring and designing talent development interventions. I would like to invite Vipul Singh as well. And I would hand over my mic to please address the gathering.
Hi. Hi everyone. I'm not getting the same hi that he got. That's not fair. Hi. That's better. Much better. Okay, so Meghna, months, weeks, hours of planning, designing, conceptualizing this entire conference, thinking of who all need to speak, the topics. So you must be super excited, right? Why don't you just share with us quickly what is the plan for today and what are the topics that are getting covered?
Sure, Rekha, thank you. In fact, this has been 2 months of hard work that we have been putting in. So today's theme is Leadership Potential Unleashed, Building Tomorrow's Workforce, that is you, in the digital world. We have 3 sessions that have been planned for today. Session 1 is how do I be a digital first leader and how do I upskill myself. Session 2 is social consciousness, building your personal brand, which is very important for you folks, emotional intelligence and understanding how to take care of your well-being, right? So that is going to be the session 2. Session 3, where 12 selected students will be on stage and ask questions, how do I become career ready? How do I become future ready? So this is the plan that we have for you. So Rekha, what do you think? What will students get from today's session?
So Meghna, I'm actually thinking of my daughter right now. I have a 13-year-old daughter, and when I look at the way she does her homework and the way I used to do my homework, there's a world of difference, okay? I used to go to the library, do a lot of research, and all of that. And she just needs to, at a click of a button, get all the necessary information. You have AI, you have ChatGPT. So the reason I say that is the world is evolving so fast that the only way that you can stay relevant is if you are constantly learning. And for which it's important to know what is happening in the industry around you, what is relevant, because by the time you get out of college and enter industry, already some of the skill sets might be redundant. So the only way to keep pace with that is to keep constantly learning and keep abreast of what's happening around you, right? And that's why I feel a conference like this is so important, because you get the industry leaders to come and interact with all the students. It's a fantastic opportunity for all of us actually to learn from each other.
Thank you, Rekha. So Vipul, what do you think? What do you think that we as NHRD today are bringing into for the students today?
By the way, first of all, I hope you realize that I'm actually taking time. I'm not supposed to be here. My name is Vipul Singh. I'm the chapter of Hyderabad. I'm the chapter president of NHRD Hyderabad. I also work for a company called Lloyds Banking Group, and that's better. I don't know what you heard, but let me just kick this off. I don't want to talk about what I said before, but I'm the chapter chair of NHRD Hyderabad. I'm also a board member of NHRD at the national level. I also work for a company called Lloyds Banking Group. It's a 300-year-old bank in the UK. We're setting up a tech center in Hyderabad. But unlike Rekha and her example of her daughter, where Rekha did homework when she was young, I actually never did my homework. So there's a little difference between Rekha and me. So I really, when I see Vihanu, who's 17 years old, do his homework, I feel the same way the way Rekha feels, because I feel it's a lot more difficult because you have a ton of information that is existing. So what really needs to be done, and what everybody who's going through an education system needs to go through, is how do they focus, how do they only get what they want to, and how do they not really get distracted from what all is available. And distraction can be of many forms. It could also be positive and it could also be negative distraction. So today's conference, as I hear, actually I'm here to learn from people like, some of my fellow panelists and some of the people that I know from the industry on what their experiences are, and I'm sure that you all will learn too. I will learn because, I'm a constant learner, and to be successful, one of the things which is most important is that you have to constantly learn. We just heard that Rekha just finished a CHRO program with ISB. My wife just did it. My nephew who's in the room somewhere actually just finished his education along with my wife. The difference is only about 30 odd years. So that's what my expectation from today is. And Meghna, I hope that, the panelists do a great job and they keep you very engaged through the day.
Thanks a lot, Vibal. Thank you so much for your time. It really means a lot to us. Thank you so much.
And go, whenever you like something that is being said on the panel, you guys should hoot actually. It encourages a bunch of people. So I get it that you all didn't like what Rekha and Meghna said and you liked what I said. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, before we go forward, I would request my associate to play a video on Street Course to have a better understanding on what we do and why we do what we do. Well, that is Street Course for you. A big round of applause to all the great work that they keep doing year on year. I would now love to invite Mr. Dhananjay Singh to speak about NHRDN and the YTC initiatives. Dhananjay Singh is the management professional responsible for strategic planning, change management, board collaboration, regulatory compliance, leadership development, stakeholder engagement, and new initiatives of National Human Resource Development Network. He has previously worked All India Management Association as the manager and a social worker with core competency of working with the people and developing collaborative people power. Welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, Hyderabad. Friends, I can't tell you how happy I am. Seeing our future here is a privilege. And all of you are the ones who are going to take India 5 trillion and beyond. Yes! And I must share this with you that National HRD Network, which is the largest HR association in India, is privileged to be here with you. We have our National Secretary, Anand Khote, Agnivesh Thakur, National Treasurer, Dr. Vipul Singh, from Zurich, Akhilesh Zuccarelli, our Head of YTC, Meghna, Akshay, Tarun, all YTC members. We all feel that you all are the reason and source of our energy, and if we are able to contribute to your growth, your success, it will be a privilege for us. We have a very special guest, Puneet from Tutorial Point. Thank you, Puneet, for being with us, and the collaboration with him will help us to further accelerate your learning journeys. So our Young Talent Council, which is meant to lead on various initiatives which National HRD Network believes require the energy, the commitment of our youngsters. And this team, in fact, you will be happy to know, Agnivesh Thakur in our previous board also was the head of YTC, and this year he has developed a team under the leadership of Akhilesh, which is doing wonders. And there are various initiatives which YTC has taken charge of, whether it is campus to corporate programs, just to invest their time of professionals in building the future skills which are required by you all. Whether in your entrepreneurial journeys, whether as a corporate manager or a social leader, they are investing their time and efforts to build your skills. They are also focusing on how to leverage technology and how to bring together subject matter experts who can be with you and they can interact with you. Like today all of you have the opportunity to interact with the best of the best managers who work for great organizations, multinational companies, and you can direct your questions to them, and they are here to help you out to solve the puzzles of life. YTC is also focusing on 2047. NHRDN is among the first of the organizations which did on 28th of October last year, 2023, a vision workshop that how when India will be at 100, what will be our future? Our future means your future, our collective future, and how we can serve our motherland, humanity in much better way what we have done till now. So Young Talent Council is also supporting the national board in how to go about the implementation, how to go about different tracks which will build India as the superpower which can serve the world at their doorsteps. Our Young Talent Council is also focusing on research, mentoring services, and all these services are meant to serve each one of you. I will urge all of you to utilize this opportunity, and I must compliment CMR Institute for taking this lead. And I can see 1,500 plus students, and you are the ones who have created a record for us, because this is the first YTC conference of this size which I am seeing. Thank you very much, and best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dhananjay. I would now like to invite our distinguished chief guest and one of my most favorite persons, Shri BVR Mohan Reddy Garu, to please do the light lamping. And I would want to invite Vipul, Dhananjay, Shruti and Abhinav from CMR to please join and accompany BVR Mohan Reddy Garu to please lighten the lamp.
I request Padma Shri BVR Mohan Reddy Garu to please stay back on.
Frequently worked with Miko Bosch, HCL and OMC Computer Limited. At the same time, while I was talking to his associate, he was saying that Sir is very much interested in bringing up student leaders and he's so much into entrepreneurship. So I request Sir to please address the gathering.
Very good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon. I was told there are 1,500 children in the class today. I'm calling it a class. I don't hear all your voices. Let's now say, all of us in one unison, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Now I hear all the 1,500 voices. Thank you very much. It used to be a most difficult thing to do for me in my life. Can you guess what it is? Going to a class after lunch. It became equally difficult thing to do in my life when I had to handle meetings just after lunch. But look at me where I am. I come to speak to you after lunch today. But the good news is the lunch was not very sumptuous. I should be very honest about it. So I'm not still sleepy to say that, look, I need to take a break. So that's the good news that we have all of you. I was told I'm going to be doing the inaugural speech. They said it's going to be for 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I like all of you to be participative, so that, we'll probably enjoy the session as opposed to being a dumb, dull, one-way verbose from me. How many of you are engineers? Put up your hands. How many of you are engineers? Put up your hands. Okay, that's a big group. How many of you are computer science or computer engineering or information technology specialists? Wow, all of you almost. I think the backbenchers are a little lazy to put up their hand. Because I didn't see anything coming up. And the backbenchers, what do you guys do? I can't hear you anyway. Okay. Now, the other question I had is, how many of you use ChatGPT? Wow. That's wonderful, absolutely. I'm so thrilled about it. Good. So, which means that you're all current in terms of technology. So, what they gave me as a topic for speaking this afternoon, it's a mouthful. It says, Leadership Potential Unleashed, Building Tomorrow Workforce in the Digital World. That's the topic. As I said, it's mouthful. So let me start off with, it's all about leadership potential being unleashed in the new digital world. So let me start off with the digital world. See, we can have only one conversation in this room. May I request people to just have one conversation in the room? Okay. So let's talk about the digital world. So we just now heard a substantially large amount of you use ChatGPT. What is ChatGPT? It's basically an AI tool which came just out of the blue for all of us to use. If you look at this word called AI, artificial intelligence, it is not new. It was there for a long, long time. I used to work with a gentleman called Dr. Raj Reddy. Raj is a PhD from Australia way back in 1961. Sorry, his PhD is from Stanford, 1961. And what was the topic on which he did? Was on speech recognition. That is an AI tool too. But if you look at AI in the commercial environment, what happened is that we saw AI started making foray into the commercial world way back in the late 90s, 96 or so, when we started seeing two things which were becoming commercial applications. One was speech recognition, and the second one was handwriting recognition. But that is considered to be the start point where we will call it as 0% efficiency of a human being. Thereafter, you fast forward, look into the time, it took 21 years thereafter. 21 years thereafter for the computers to become 100% efficient like human beings on these two things, speech recognition and handwriting recognition. That's the amount of time it took. But then here's the beauty of it. You know how long it took for people to get to ChatGPT, which is basically to do with comprehension? It took just 6 months. So from a situation where AI tools were taking 100%, taking decades for getting to 100% efficiency of a human being, we saw now AI tools like ChatGPT took less than 6 months to get to 100% efficiency. Actually, there are some AI tools which are a lot more efficient than human beings. Can any of you tell me one example where an AI tool is a lot more efficient than human beings? Do we have mics in the with the audience, please? No? No mics in the audience? Okay? So anybody wants to put up their hand? AI tool which is more efficient than human beings? No hands up. So our belief is in vision, the way in which things can be seen by computers, they're a lot more efficient than human beings. Here's a good example. My younger folks in the back may not be doing that, but not so young folks in the front could be occasionally going to a doctor to get a chest x-ray done. And the chest x-ray, the doctor, what he or she does is take the x-ray, put it in the background of a light, and then say, oh no, this is clean, Mr. Reddy, you can go. But actually, if you put it in front of a computer screen, a camera, you'll find that the computer can recognize if there's a lesion in the lung a year ahead of a human eye. That we call it as 130% efficiency. So therefore, now the computers or AI tools are becoming a lot more efficient than the human beings themselves. What is making them so efficient? What is making this digital world run at a pace at which it's running today? To me, there are 4 pillars which make it happen. One is computers, second is communication, third is sensors or IoT, and the fourth one is AI or algorithms. Way back in 1974, Gordon Moore made this great statement. He said, computers will become faster, they'll become smaller, they'll become cheaper every 18 months by a factor of 2, which is they'll become half the price, half the size, and twice the speed in a span of 18 months. After literally 40 years, people went back to visit Gordon Moore's theory, whether it was right or wrong. Actually, they proved that it was wrong because it takes much lesser time to develop computers which are faster, cheaper, and smaller in less than 18 months. So if you look at the computers, the way in which they're moving on, you must have heard about this word called CPU. It's not CPU any longer, we're now talking about GPUs, graphic processing units. Or the next one is called TPUs. Or we're also talking about quantum, which means the speed of computers will gallop further for this transformation to occur further. It will become much more faster. The second one is, if you look at communication, people like me belong to a generation we only use landlines. We now saw mobile phones coming in. Mobile phones with 2G, that's the spectrum that they were using. 2G became 3G, became 4G, it's 5G. And if you come to a campus of mine called IIT Hyderabad, where I serve as the chairman of the board, we'll talk about 6G. And what does it mean to all of us is it's exactly the speed is going up, but more importantly, latency is also coming down. Which means applications which were not possible in the past are now possible through the communication network. I'll give you an example. We talked about telemedicine at this point of time, which is primarily teleconsulting, doctor on one end, patient on the other side. That's no-brainer. But now that we are doing what is called as telesurgery, which effectively means that there could be a digital twin of the patient in front of a doctor sitting thousands of miles away, moving the stylus on the digital twin, but actually on the patient there's a knife moving. And if there's a bleed, you could cartridge in less than a millisecond. So those are the exciting applications you'll see with the speed of communication going up as well as the latency coming down. A third one I said was all about the sensors, or they're called the IoT, Internet of Things. What's happening with Internet of Things is these used to be ugly looking large devices, but they are becoming smaller, faster, cheaper. So how many sensors did God give us? I like to make this interactive because people are in their own conversations at this point of time, but they don't have mics with them. Okay? Let me move on quickly then. So God gave us 5 senses. The ability to see, the ability to feel, the ability to taste, the ability to smell, and the ability to hear. Right now, our belief is in all these 5 senses, the computers are getting as close as possible as the human beings do. And I gave you an example where it can even do better than the human beings in terms of vision. So, but these sensors, which are actually sensing this information across, are also putting lots of data. And the data is like oceans of data is what we call them. They're not teraflops, they're next level to a teraflop. To a teraflop is the type of data that's going in. And on this data you apply AI, it becomes artificial intelligence. And that is how the whole world is progressing. So we saw with this connectivity that's happening at this point of time with communication, with AI running on the background, with the ability to have computing power which is in-premise, on the cloud, everywhere, the sum total of it is what we never saw as applications are being done by now, are being done now. So please do not therefore think that the applications for computers are limited to computers itself, and computers are limited to a corporate information system itself. That is how actually this thing was called information technology. But it's not anymore information technology, it's now technology which can help human beings in making decisions online in real time. That's what technology is doing. So the end result, what we are finding is that today technology has become all pervasive in this digital world. It is no longer that it's limited to any specific field. You give me an area which is healthcare, education, or it is transportation, logistics, you name them. Even in education at this point of time, we have applications where computers are helping us in terms of making sure each one of you, depending upon the pace at which you can learn, we can create an individual learning path for you. So there are humongously large changes that are happening in the digital world. So I'm sure some of you understand this, that if we were to keep pace with this change, what do we need to do is the next question that comes. That's all about unleashing the potential of leadership within you. The pace at which the change is happening at this point of time, to keep pace with it, our belief is 1 degree will not be good enough. And 1 degree is not sufficient enough. You all think that, look, I got my bachelor's degree, that's end of it, all of it. No. Even where I am in my life, I like to learn every day because there are new things that are coming in. So the first thing, if you truly want to become a leader in the new world, in the new digital world, is that you need to be a continuous learner. Continuously you upskill yourself, reskill yourself. That's the first trait I would say. The second one is that you cannot move away from technology. You cannot keep yourself away from technology because technology will play such an important role in our lives. You can't say that, look, I'm going to be away from technology because it doesn't interest me, then you're away from real life. And so therefore the second one is embrace technology. That's what you need to do. A third one, which I think is equally important, is the ability to communicate with others. Because you have now, you're reading, learning, knowledge is coming to you, but you have to translate that knowledge to others too. So you have to communicate well. And all right, I keep seeing people talking to each other, but more often than not, people like me are all the time talking on an email, on a WhatsApp, or on a Twitter, or on a Facebook, or an Instagram for that matter. So that is the reason why communication becomes very important for you to become a leader in the new world. You'll also find that skills are changing so rapidly, you don't have all of them with you. So you need to definitely thereafter collaborate with each other. Because if you don't have all those skills singularly with yourself, the only way you can acquire those skills is collaboration. And finally, I think somebody else used this word earlier, and I'm very impressed. I think what happens in this new world is that people work in isolation too. The new concept of work from home. And so therefore they require more amount of empathy, and you need to develop more amount of emotional quotient to ensure that you can lead a team, truly become a leader. Empathy is to understand what people are in these situations. Unless you get to that level, you'll not be in a position to think to be a good leader in the new world. All this, the cardinal principle with which I built a company. I built a company with 4 engineers from my home. I employ 18,000 of them today. 18,000 of them in 14 different countries across the world. But to me, what is leadership is all about being values-driven leadership. Our tagline says, values first, F-I-R-S-T. What does F-I-R-S-T stand for? Fairness, integrity, respect, transparency, and sincerity, or sincerity and transparency. So these are cardinal values that you need to have if you truly want to be a leader, irrespective of whether it's a digital world or non-digital world. The other thing is that if you want to be a true leader, you have to walk your talk. You say something and then you do something else, nobody will be a follower for you. So therefore, be very careful. If you truly want to be a leader, you got to be very careful in what you say and what you do. And finally, I would say, if you want to be a true leader, then earn the respect of people. So in companies too, what do people respect you for? They respect you for the type of skills you have. What's the skills that you require? Skills to manage people, skill to lead a problem, skill to solve a problem, face the challenges. These are some of the attributes that you have to learn. You have to start challenging yourself. I keep saying that one of the secrets of my success is that I challenge myself all the time. I'm not competing with my neighbor. I'm competing against myself. Every time I calibrate myself and I say that I need to be better than what I was yesterday. What I did today, I have to be definitely better next time. So these are some of the skills which become extremely important for you to truly build a company. We only talked about the numbers in terms of people. Let me share with you what can be a success to further. I started this company with 20 lakhs of my money. How much did I start off? That was 20 lakhs of my money. I now have 2 companies, which are both publicly listed companies. These are therefore in the open information. These 2 companies together are valued at 30,000 crores. For a seed money of 20 lakhs, you can build, thank you, I'm good, thank you. You can build a company which is as large as 30,000 crores. So to me, the digital world of the future holds lots of promise for all of you. At times I keep joking with people that I wish I was born now, because I was born at a time, but technology was not the same what it is today. With the technology comes lots of opportunities. What you need to do is to grab them. What becomes an extremely important thing with this nation at this point of time is job creation. Don't become job seekers, become job creators, which means I'd like to encourage every one of you to become an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur, then you can achieve many things. We said we create employment, we created wealth, we created innovation, we supported the society in many ways. So therefore, my last message to you, through your leadership and as you grow to become leaders of future, think about becoming entrepreneurs. Again, thank you very much to my good friends at the Streetcars for inviting me this afternoon. And thank you very much to all of you for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Before we move on, we had a lot of questions from the crowd, but I'll just wrap it to one or two if you're interested.
Yes, I am. But
Sure.
they were going to ask me.
The first one being, you've recently published a book called Engineered in India, which talks about entrepreneurship. But what's your favorite lesson from that book?
The biggest favorite lesson of mine is you need to be all the time driving yourself for excellence. Whatever I do in my life, I have to do it better next time. It could be small things, it could be big things. If I got 78 marks in the class, next time I said, I need to get at least a mark more than this. I'm not worried about who gets more marks than me. So if I perform well, we said, you probably added 1,000 people this year. We said, let's add a few more next year. So therefore, you have to benchmark yourself and improve your own performance. That's what, and it's not anybody else doesn't require to do this for you. You don't need to get trained about this. It's one simple thing called your attitude. If you have the right attitude, you can excel. And that attitude is within you. You just need to flip and say, I will be the best from now. That's all the message.
Thank you, sir. The second question being, in the last 2-3 years, AI has taken over a lot in terms of the jobs. Now, if you talk about content writing or video graphics, it's done by ChatGPT or Sora, a lot of other AI technologies. While there is a mismatch between what is there in the syllabus versus what is there outside in the world, how do you think, and this is from all of them, how do you think students have to upgrade themselves and ensure that their jobs are guaranteed in terms of the other technologies that are coming into picture while having the core in place?
Sure. Good question again, whoever has asked it. Certainly what we will see is enormous amount of transformation that will happen. Nothing is steady at this point of time. You'll see newer and newer technologies will come by. You should not get worried about them. I have this, people keep saying, oh my God, AI has come, it'll take away jobs. Actually, it'll create more jobs. You might say, Mr. Reddy, how many jobs did IT industry create? I think the challenge is, it's in this transition. Actually, in companies like us, there are more open positions than we can recruit at this point of time. So there is a lots of opportunities that will come by because of newer technologies. And so don't get at any point of time threatened. I've got this very classic example of a picture which was taken from a tower in New York. The picture is about Fifth Avenue. That's a street which is a big famous street of New York in 1907. What does the street have? It is full of horse-drawn buggies and a horseman associated with it. 10 years later, from the same vantage position, somebody took a picture of the same street. What did it have? It had all cars except for one or two of those buggies. I keep challenging people, we did not kill the horses, nor the horsemen died because of starvation. What did the horsemen do? They reskilled themselves. They upskill themselves. So constantly there's a need for you to upskill. So don't also get carried away that right now there are these 8 headline newses about top digital skills and I get you to get trained on them. Certainly yes, but that's not it. What's more important is you need to have the attitude to constantly learn. That becomes important. It's not important what you have today with you because that will very quickly disappear. What's more important is making sure that you learn the new skills as they appear in the horizon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I request Shruti Chandra and Vipul Singh to please present a memento to us. Thank you so much, sir. It was great to have you here. Before we move ahead, I request all the gathering to please maintain the decorum of this particular panel session. I'm sure you guys have been great audience so far, but there had been one or two instances where we see people talking. We've invited great leaders for a reason, and it is for you guys. So I genuinely request all of you to please maintain the decorum. Right. Quickly moving on, we would start the first panel discussion, which talks about being digital first leaders. How do I upskill myself? Now, I see that a lot of you are obviously college students, and it is very much required in terms of learning. How do you upskill yourself? So moving on, I would like to invite Kapil Takapalli, the moderator for this session, Dr. Vipul Singh, Sumitra Tyagarajan, Srini Woodmula. To talk more about these distinguished guests, Kapil is the Director of Human Resources at Providence, a leading US healthcare company. He is curating the employee experience at Providence and is passionately curious about how people think and work. Dr. Vipul Singh is currently the Senior Vice President and Head HR Communications at ADP. Vipul Singh has more than 25 years of HR experience in information technology services, telecom and customer durables industries. Vipul has led multiple organizations and provided strategic HR and marketing communications. Sumitra Tyagarajan, who is working with Invesco as Global Head.
I think somebody, Meghna, messed up with my resume, I think. I left ADP about 6 months back, a great company. I spent about 13 years with them. I now work for a company called Lloyd's Technology Center. I head HR and places for them. Very similar job to ADP, but Lloyd's Technology Center, like I said, it's a 300-year-old bank. My LinkedIn doesn't change. And in ADP, I was known as Vipul Singh. Here, people call me Dr. Vipul Singh. That's the only change.
Once a leader, always a leader. I'm so sorry for the confusion. Sumitra Tyagarajan, working with Invesco as Global Head for Investment and Distribution Operations, have over 25 years of work experience working across India, Middle East and Europe. Srini Woodmula, a seeker for new learnings by doing a risk taker, trying things that are not done before, believes age is just a number. Envies of the current generation, I think you all. Well, he's born 3 decades late. The operations and the exciting times of each one of you are going through. So welcome to you all. I hand it over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right, I have some very interesting trivia for all of you. We have somebody on the panel today who's played for great cricket representing India along with Rahul Dravid. Okay. We also have somebody who's done skydiving in Australia. And we also have somebody who's run in Ladakh. All right. So who do you think is the one who did skydiving? Any guesses? So how many for Srini? Can I see a raise of hands? How many for Sumitra? Okay, how many for Vipul? The person who's done the skydiving is Sumitra in Australia. So who do you think has played cricket? How many for Vipul? How many for Srini? Okay, the right answer is Vipul. All right. And Srini, of course, ran in Ladakh. All right. So together we have some very interesting set of leaders over here who are going to tell you what it takes to be a digital first leader. How many of you attended a class during the pandemic online? Right. Okay. My next question. How many of you have worked on a project with other team members online? Nobody? All right. How many of you have used Instagram Live? All right. Okay. So we'll talk about what is the commonality between all of them, okay? So what's happened is during the pandemic, a lot of us had to change how we work. We had to rely on a lot of digital technologies like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, various collaboration tools, etc. to really work with each other. Although we were in the same city, we couldn't meet each other. So that really started a sort of a digital revolution, I would say, and hence the need for digital first leaders in today's workforce. So I'm going to start by asking Srini the first question, all right, since you are very close to me right now. So Srini, in your opinion, how do you define a digital first leadership, and why is it critical for some of these students who will be entering the workforce?
Thank you, Kapil, and thank you for a wonderful ice-breaking. From a digital first perspective, right, I take off on what Mohan Reddy Garu said, right. All of you are in actually one of the most exciting times. In my introduction, I said, I wish I was born a few years later, along with all of you, because there's so much happening in the world. And especially on the digital side, huge amount of changes are happening. If I'm you, what is it I will do? I will embrace change. I'm not going to go ahead and say, is it going to take away my jobs? Am I going to have a job? What am I going to do? And AI is going to take away jobs. Don't worry about it. Okay? Nobody is going to take away your job. As long as you are willing to do, you're going to upskill, and you're going to adopt digital first. Okay, all of us are a little old in life. So when we started our careers way back 30 years ago, there were not even computers. Okay, when the computers came, you can go back and look at some of the newspapers at that point of the time. Everybody said, oh, computers are going to take away human beings' jobs, and what will happen to people? Country like India, people are going to lose jobs. Nothing has happened. India has generated more employment. India has done better, and India is actually digital ready. And India is digital ready just because all of you are digital ready. So just embrace whatever comes your way. Be the first one to learn, and be the first one to be able to go and use that for your own advantage.
Thank you, Srini. My next question to you, Sumitra. You come from the finance world where there is a lot of digital technology that is being used. So how do you tell your teams, or what do you think are the digital skills that are essential for you to navigate this very complex digital world that's coming up right now?
All right. First of all, I just want to thank everyone for this opportunity. And next, Srini, I'm not as old as you said earlier, so I choose to disagree there. I hope this group would possibly like to hear a story, because that's how I can catch some attention. So can I have the attention, please? All right. One thing that I truly believe in is that your necessity is what causes you in terms of identifying what is it that I've got to innovate. So I'm just going to tell you a small story. I won't take too long. 2019, I had to, this is my personal story, I had to leave my child, my daughter. She joined her 7th grade in US, and my mom and my brother and my daughter, they were there in the US, and I was working in Europe. I come back and they close the borders. 2 years, I cannot go and meet them. I'm based out in Europe, they are in the US, and I had to really innovate my way in terms of how do I virtually parent my kid. All right? And that's when, luckily, with WhatsApp, Skype, FaceTime, I was online all the time with her whenever there was a requirement. I used to do homework with her, study with her, as well as play with her. We found online playing games sites through which we used to kind of collaborate effectively and come together as a family.
Even the Ganesh Chaturthi, I'll take that as an example. Even the Ganesh Chaturthi, I used to do the puja at my home, call them, video call, and the prayers would come along as a family. So I think the digital innovation has really transformed the life, but it is all about how do I start thinking above and beyond. All right? It is all about creativity. You need to be curious, you need to be self-aware. What do I want to do? You need to be continuously learning, and you need to have a strategic mindset whereby you're basically transforming your career, transforming your life with the changing needs which are coming through. But above all, you also have got to embrace the change. You have to get out of your comfort zone and make sure that I am ready for the change. And that's how I personally, in my team, in my business, we drive the innovation culture and also train them to embrace the change.
Thank you, Sumit. Vipul, I know you've been working with a lot of companies which have again pushed digital at the forefront. So can you share some examples of how you have personally upskilled yourself as a digital leader?
Thank you, Kapil, and excellent story, Sumit. Thank you very much for sharing that. I come from a background where I work for companies which were not really very, very rich companies. I work for great companies. I work for a telecom company, the Tata Group, then I work with Accenture, I work with ADP, and now I work with Lloyds. So the companies that I work for required a lot of control and a lot of process efficiency, because these organizations were very, very high from a compliance standpoint. The world's largest payroll company, the world's greatest payroll company, you can imagine if you do something from a compliance standpoint which is not technology driven, can go wrong. I work for Accenture after the whole Enron mess. So you can imagine if there's no technology, there's no digital, what will happen. And of course the Tata Group, and now I work for a bank. But that's one side of the business, but a couple of things which really drove my adoption of digital, my adoption of technology, and my adoption of wanting to be in touch with my people. I'm a very touch and feel, look and see a kind of a person. I like doing that, having a sports background. And when I started working, I started doing multiple, I actually would travel very, very often. And I would first do India, in which I was traveling to the US. And we were in different time zones. Then I started doing different countries. So then I had people in different teams, different countries, who were working for me. And I could not be with them at all points in time. So what really started happening is that we had to find ways and means on how do we connect. How do we actually see behaviors, how do we see emotions, and most importantly, how do we find a mechanism
need to have the will to learn, and learning has to continue to be a part of your life, for years to come. Don't believe that you finished your graduation and then you're done with your learning. I think it's just a beginning. You have to keep yourself ahead. For that, you have to continue to learn.
All right, thank you, Srini. How many of you have had any mentor, maybe somebody, a senior from college or somebody? Do you have any mentor? Okay, no mentors here. All right. Okay, so Sumitra, I think that's a good segue again for you, How do you make sure that some of these students who will probably join your company maybe in the future, that they are digitally proficient and, they have the digital literacy? How do you build that culture?
Okay. I already kind of touched upon this. One is, of course, continuous learning. And when I say continuous learning, the learning never ends. It is just that what we thought was good enough for me yesterday is not good enough for me today. So it is important for us to keep ourselves informed, well informed. And why do we need this? It's primarily because we want to create the culture of creativity, innovation, a growth mindset in our people, to also be agile and be the front-end leaders in terms of their future and in terms of what they want to achieve in their career. Now, I know that many of you here would be using either an iPhone or an Android. And there is always an upgrade that keeps coming in, right? And that is only enhancing your experience in terms of the digital footprint that is in your hand. You are basically managing everything on the phone today. And that's the wow effect that we are creating, that either iPhone is creating or any of the Android, let's take Samsung, they are creating for us, because we do not want to be spending long hours on any other platforms. So I think as a financial sector or objective, I've been in the industry for more than 25 years now. The consistent objective for us has always remained to create that wow effect for the client. And along with that, the one core objective that remains for every firm year on year is how do I create that experience by digitally getting there. All right, digitally enhancing ourselves, creating the innovation and transformation. So I think our investment will be with the people in terms of enhancing that continuous learning.
Thank you. Vipul, I know you had teams in different countries. So how did you move away from a traditional leadership style to something that is more digital savvy? What challenges did you face in this journey?
I did not, to be very honest, by the way, the total transparency, Kapil and I work together a lot, so I cannot really say something which is really not true, guys. Okay, so just keep that at the back of your mind. And so, if you ask a very interesting point, and I was thinking about it because, as you asked me, there are a couple of things which really, truly drive knowledge, learning, acceptance, and an influencing ability, and that is truly learning. And picking up what Srini was just talking about, if you go back to the Maurya dynasty or to the Gupta dynasty, the kings never ruled the kingdom. Chandragupta was never really the leader of the kingdom. The leader of the kingdom was Chanakya. The whole ecosystem was driven by what knowledge that you had. So if you have the right set of knowledge, if you have the right set of learning, I think there will be a ton of people who will be running behind you. So you do not have to learn in a particular space. You have to have a horizontal learning across different spaces. You can be a really big expert in understanding how Formula 1 car runs. But of course you have to do your core very, very right. You can be a very good financial analyst and play big in the stock market and get a lot of respect in whatever you do, because you're actually leaning on something from a learning standpoint. So I just wanted to bring that point that Srini was making, that how important learning and upskilling at any point of time. And that's also a function of your interest. You need to be updated, and you need to do a lot of things at different stages of your life. We were talking about a lady who was doing her CHRO program at the age of, I don't want to talk about Rekha's age, but I can guess it. She's almost as old as mine. You can guess how young I am. So So that's very important, guys. But you know, Kapil, to your point, you know, I work with a bunch of people who really drove me to actually drive a style of connect. And that style of connect was driven by a lot of interactive learning. And interactive learning can only happen if you are able to build a community. This is not just digital. If you can build a community of people who want to listen, learn and work together. And that's where the leader comes into play. How we are able to give a shared vision to the leadership, to the team. And I think that truly drives. The best cricket captain in this entire universe, in the history of the game, is a guy called Mike Beerley. He would have not even got into the cricket team of England if you look at his records. Bobby Simpson is another great person. So all, you know, you need to have something which is unique, which is binding the team together. And how do you bind that? You bind that through connect. How do you connect? Today digital is a medium to connect. So these are some things which are very important. And as you start moving away from a business school into the corporate world, please do keep some of these things very significantly at some space in your mind, because if you're not able to do that, you will not be able to succeed in this world. So that's something that I want to share with you.
Sure. I think I'll just summarize the answers that most of the panel members have given. One is inculcate a growth mindset, indulge in continuous learning, make sure you talk to different set of people so that you identify your niche and go well. Connect with a lot of people. Digital medium is going to evolve, but how do you navigate that is going to be very important. I'm going to close this session with a rapid fire round with all my panel members. Srini, YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels?
Insta, right?
Yeah. All right. Sumitra, Netflix or Amazon Prime? Netflix. Okay. Vipul, T20 or one day?
5-day test match.
All right. Thank you for wonderful insights, and I hope each one of you really enjoyed, what the panel.
Before we
had
let
to
you
offer.
go, I just want to ask Kapil a question, because Kapil is also a very senior leader in the industry. Kapil, what's been your experience? Because you are actually at a stage where you're crossing generations. So what's been your experience? Because you've transitioned from an industry, you've transitioned from an education system, you're actually transitioned from one generation to the other generation. What do you think is the impact of digital?
Sure. So I know quite earlier we used to just communicate on SMS, then WhatsApp came, then iMessage, and different methods came. Today I see people actually talking something on a Snapchat, continuing a different conversation with the same person on Instagram, and talking something about work in a different place. So you have 3 different channels, all digitally connected, but 3 different contexts that are happening with the same set of people. And I think it's this context switching and how you navigate this is going to be the key. And that's percolating into the corporate world as well. Today we have emails, we have something on Microsoft Teams or chat that's happening, and then a conversation that also happens on WhatsApp. So how do you maintain that connect and still be true to each and everyone? I think that's the key message, I would say. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the discussion, team. I just saw a lot of energy suddenly coming in when the rapid fire was going on, so we thought we'll do it with the crowd only. Right? So now you guys tell me so that we understand what is trending outside. Netflix or Amazon? Amazon Prime, what the? Okay. WhatsApp or Snapchat? Okay. But be loyal to WhatsApp also, huh? Online classes or offline classes? Okay. ఇంట్లో చేసిన ఆవకాయ అన్నం పప్పు చారు ఆర్ అవుట్ సైడ్ మెక్డీ ఫుడ్? మెక్డీ? How many for McD? Raise your hand. Hey, watch that girl. She is going to McD. Others all mummy cheslo, mummy chesina papcharu. Sweet. Long ride or sitting on friend's terrace? Long ride. Okay. Okay, let's go to the last question. Vinpistundi. Anyways. Let's go to the last question, right? Because you all are students and maybe we as HRs or whatever we would want to understand how you guys are taking. Back in our times, not that we are way too old, but back in our times we didn't have chat GPTs or any AI tools to do our assignments or get answers easily. We were like writing in paper, scratching things and all. How many in this audience, the set of people that I have here, know the most recent product that came out of OpenAI? Zora. Did anyone use it? But it's so good to see you guys being super updated about everything that is happening. Back in 2018, 2019, when we were in our BTech, there was one game called Flappy Bird, if you know. Tap, 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 tap. So while we were doing all of that, the way you guys are getting updated is just brilliant. So great effort. Next we have people from Tutorial Point to talk about a Tutorial Point. I have been known with these people for way too long. They are our sponsors for Street Cause, and I must say that there's just not any other sponsors but people with great heart. So I would now want to invite Puneet and Abhinav, who are part of Tutorials Point, and Mr. Mohammed, the founder of Tutorials Point. To give you some brief about what we do, Tutorials Point is a leading digital learning platform providing innovative learning solutions that are proven effective in upskilling students. The project-based skills over a wide range of subjects give them an edge in the competitive world with upskilling students. 9,000 plus premium courses by 1,200 plus qualified instructors. They made their mark in the online learning and digital marketplace. So welcome to you, sir. I hand it over to you.
Thank you, Pranav. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope some of you would have heard of Tutorials Point. Some more noise? Thank you. So I have my colleague Anubhav also with me, who is helping in operating the laptop. Our founder Mohammed Ji is on the way and should be here any minute. But in the meantime, just wanted to introduce this platform, who we are, what we do. Most of you already know about us, but then a platform founded in 2006, today hosting more than 15,000 courses, video, text, tutorials, ebooks, etc. A platform which has a domain authority that we rank in top 3 if you talk about any technology. On your phones, go and write Python tutorial, you will find us in top 3. Go and write Java tutorial, you will find us in top 3. We get about 1 million users per day on our website who come and learn. There are 2 sections of the website, and when we say learn for free, we mean it. Anubhav, can you open any of the tutorial? Let's say HTML. Come to the platform, click on the technology you want to learn. You will see all the sections on the left, everything for the free. You can come and spend as much time as you want to. There is also a section which we call it as coding ground. You don't just read, you type in your code and you run the code just to see what you're reading, is it even making sense. There's a section also which talks about job search. Once you have learned, you want to find whether this technology is relevant in the market, how many jobs are there, how many job seekers are looking for this kind of a technology. You can go and start searching for the job as well. Right? So that's why we are trying to bridge the gap for you. There's also a section called a certification. Of course, when you read for free, you don't get a certificate. There's a section called a certification where you can buy the course. There are prime packs. Suppose you want to learn Java. There are 7 courses. You start from the basic, go to the intermediate, go to the advanced, clear the assessment at each level. We give you a certificate. our courses and certificates are also accredited by Ministry of Skill Development. So our certificate will have a logo of ministry as well along with it. You can go on the ministry's website and also download the certificate from there. So that gives a bit of an accreditation to the certificate which you are holding, right? That's at a very high level about us. We request you to come and explore our platform. Also, for this event, we are doing something special, and I'll talk about it in 30 seconds. Before that, I would like to invite Dhananjay Bhai, Anand Bhai, Agni Bhai and Vipul ji on the stage, please. Right. So I'm sure the folks from NHRD don't need any introduction anymore. You have heard them, seen them. And the last one is Anubhav. He heads our marketing. So just today, NHRD and Tutorials Point, we are proud to say that we have signed an MOU. And what does that mean, right? So we are coming on as the learning partner for NHRD, right? So we are trying to bridge the gap of what a student needs to get placed in the companies.
Thank you so much, Puneet Bhai. This partnership is to ensure that we keep learning. So when we have our academic qualifications, that's good. But what about our professional qualifications, particularly when we never want to stop learning, in fact. And this one, once you will go for this partnership, we have requested Tutorial Point if the courses can be offered at a very nominal price to our students, our student members. And this partnership is also very, very critical and important because we wanted a Made in India platform which can really understand the needs of our students and how they can excel in whatever avenue of life they have chosen for themselves. So thank you so much for you, Puneet ji, for you and your team for creating this opportunity. And I will request Anand Bhai and Vipul Bhai to add.
Good afternoon all. How many of you would like to be placed after you finish your graduation or post-graduation? Show of hands. How many of you want to start your own business? Okay, at least 7, 8, 10%. But for that, you need to have the skills to succeed. You know, Tutorials Point have campus to corporate offering, which is targeted towards all fields, including management. NHRDN has started Arohan product, which is also helping students like you across the universities in India to try and help you improve your placement chances, you know, by supporting you with all the skills which you need. And we believe that this partnership will help NHRDN and Tutorials Point to work with each one of you in improving your possibilities to get into the right opportunities for you in the industry as well as starting your own journey as an entrepreneur. Thank you, Tutorials Point, for joining hands with us for this important initiative.
Actually, after Anand Bhai says, they say in NHRD, nobody says anything else. So thank you very much, Tutorial Point. I think, like I mentioned when I was talking to you all, learning is a continuous process. It's very important that you have just not mastery in what you do. You are very, very aware of multiple things. He gave a great example of just not building skills within your own domain. But if you want to get into business, there are multiple other things that you should do. So, you know, I'm sure you all will learn from it. And of course, I realize that if I'm a member, I'll get this at 99 rupees. So I am a member too, where I don't know if I get a discount or not. I will. So I will definitely go and register on this. So thank you very much for being with us.
So we have Mohammed Ji also. He's our founder of Tutorials Point. So before I give it to Mohammed Ji, just one thing in the spirit of partnership, the course which you see on the screen, College to Corporate, which we give it for 2,000 rupees, we are giving it at 99 rupees. It has 6 different courses from where you are, where you need to be, what companies are looking for. Please make the best out of this opportunity. Thank you.
Hello guys. So feeling hungry? Hungry for what? Food is for your stomach. Learning is for your mind. Okay? And we are here to teach you at the cost of peanut. Even peanut will be more expensive. Go outside and ask what is cost for peanut. They will give 200 rupees. It's just 99 rupees. And why? Because of these gentlemen. Okay? So how many of you already know about Tutorials Point? Just raise it. Wow. Wow. So it's helping you? Very good. So guys, we are also like you. Okay? We have been software engineer. He has been MBA. This gentleman again, engineer. So we understand your needs. Okay? And that's what we are trying to fulfill through Tutorials Point. Okay? So I don't have many things to speak. What I will request you, any suggestion, any feedback, you go to website and drop us email. I promise you we will reply on that. We will reply on that. We will take action on that. So your feedback is very important to us. Okay, thank you very much.
Last bit, to avail this, there's a coupon code to be used, TP Tutorials Point, that is 99. Go to the website, please make the maximum use of it. Otherwise also, please feel free to come to our website and keep learning. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. The next discussion that we have, the panel discussion, is on emotional intelligence and well-being, personal branding and social the impact on the future jobs. And for this session to commence, I would like to invite onto the dais Ramakrishna Momidi, who will be moderating the session, Anand Kode, Tanuja Abburi, Rekha Narendra, Surendranath Pothu, Anvit Murthy, and Vivek Thurkural. To give you a brief introduction about the leaders, Ramakrishna Momidi is the Vice President of NHRD in Hyderabad, Senior Vice President HR of Deloitte. Ramakrishna is currently working as Senior VP HR in Deloitte for the last 14 years, has a total of 3 decades of experience in all aspects of HR in world-class organizations such as Microsoft, Philips Software, Honeywell, Motorola, and Qualcomm. To talk about Anand Kode, he is currently working as the Director at Production Modeling India, been in global HR roles over the last 25 years, played leadership roles at organizations like IBM, Dell, and Patni Computer Systems Limited. In addition to the professional career, Anand is volunteering at NHRDN as General Secretary and part of the National Board. Talk about Tanuja Abburi. Tanuja Abburi is a DEI thought leader. Besides being a DEI thought leader for a large multinational, she also runs a DEI consulting firm, Beyond Pings. As a HR professional with over 20 years of experience, Tanuja held various leadership roles with organizations like NTT Data, GE, and DE Shaw. To talk about Rekha Narendra, Rekha is a seasoned HR leader with more than 25 years of experience in global and India HR leader roles. She's worked across multiple industries and in organizations such as Ford, Genpact, Kantar, and RealPage. She is a certified coach from International Coach Federation and has recently completed the Future CHRO program. To talk about Surendra Pothu, Surendra in his current role is leading HR digitalization for global manufacturing business with Dr. Reddy Laboratories. Being an engineer at heart and HR by profession, he is passionate in working at intersection of tech and people to create scalable ecosystems. To talk about Anvit Murthy, Anvit currently leads the human resources, administration, IT and procurement departments at Rapido. He completed his engineering degree at NIT Kurukshetra and pursued post-graduation studies in human resource at XLRA Jamshedpur. Has a strong passion for organizational culture, people analytics and HR technology. With 16 years of experience, he has previously worked with companies like Tata Motors and Infosys. Vivek Turkral, Vivek has 20 years of experience in HR and has worked for companies like Adecco, Deloitte, ADP. He is currently working with Pegasystems as Global Head HR of TA, managing multiple geographics. Firstly, welcome you all, and I would hand it over to you. Thank you.
Time we want your interaction in this particular session so that you are all active. We want you to talk at some points of time, and at some points of time we want you to listen to us. Okay? And these leaders, 6 wonderful leaders who have come, each one of them are an average 20 years of experience they are spending, and they are going to share their secrets with us. Do you want to become another Dr. B.V.R. Reddy? Yeah? You don't want to become? Right? We just now listened to him. With 20 lakh rupees and with 5 people, he has built 18,000 people organization. If you want to be successful in your own organizations, when you join an organization, there are few secrets that we want to share with you. These secrets are going to help you in terms of in your own growth, both in your college as well as your education as well as in your jobs. These are secrets, don't share with others, but we are going to share with you. Okay. Now, I will say a few words and you need to tell what comes to your mind first. Okay? Rashmika. Film actress Rashmika. What? Okay, tell to the person next to you because we can't hear you. What comes to your mind? Okay, next individual, Vijaya Devarakonda. Tell to the person next to you what comes to your mind. Okay, next one, Amitabh Bachchan. Okay. Okay. And the last one, Mercedes. When you say Mercedes, what comes to your mind? Tell to the person next to you. Not to me, but to the person next to you. Okay. 4 either individuals or the company name I have mentioned, certain things came to your mind, right? The first thing that comes to your mind is the image of that individual. And what kind of an image that you have, what is your personal brand? That is one of the secrets for success. What kind of a brand that you are going to create in your life, in your career as a profession. That's what we are going to discuss in this session. And let me start with this eminent panel. Okay. I would like to understand first, Tanuja, what is your personal brand? One word, 1 or 2 words. Yeah. Personal brand.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Hello. I can speak when you stop speaking. I am hearing my own voice. It'll be nice if we have some silence here and if we can pay some attention. Thank you so very much. My personal brand, I would say simplicity and credibility.
Simplicity and credibility.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Vivek, what's your personal brand?
So we heard about how AI and digital and other things are changing the world. Ultimately, all these things are here to enable us, all of us, to execute. So I would say execution with speed.
So execution, Vivek, thank you. Execution, to do things. Okay, Anvit, what is your personal brand?
Yeah, for me, actually, like personal branding is about what is your unique value proposition, what do you bring to the table. Second is actually networking. It's very important to network. I mean, like you may have all the skills, but if you don't have that network, it doesn't get noticed. As such.
Thank you. Networking. Networking is your brand. Okay, personal brand. Thank you. Okay, Rekha, over to you.
Ram, I want to ask the audience, all of you have heard about Nike? Yes? Do you know what Nike's tagline is? Just do it. So that is my personal
Wow, just do it.
overthinking, no over-analysis, no hesitation. There is something to be done, just go ahead and do it.
Thank you. Thank you. Anandji, what's your personal brand?
Thank you, Ram. Folks, you are with us? Say hi. Good to hear. Building trust and creating approachable communities.
Approachable communities. Okay. Building trust. Thank you, Anand. And Surendra, what is your personal brand?
Hello, Ram. I would like to people who know me think me as a fun person to hang out with, and also an innovative person in all the things I do. That's what I believe I want to be.
Fun and innovative. Give them a big round of applause. So you have heard 6 leaders saying 6 aspects in their own personal lives, and what is the personal brand that they have. This overnight they have not built, because people could see what you are, because you need to be authentic of yourself, right? Your authenticity comes through. So it's not only what you think, what others think of you should be the same, then only there is a congruence. Let me ask you one question. Talk to the person next to you and say what is your personal brand that you have. Go ahead and then talk to the person. Say in 1 or 2 words. Personal brand, your own personal brand. Anybody would like to say one word? Your own personal brand that you would like to build or that you already have? No, I don't think we'll get it. Okay, that's about the personal brand. Thank you. And may I request you to be silent? I'm going to go to the next part of the session where we are going to reveal one more secret beyond personal brand. Okay? This one is a tough one, and I request you to listen to what our leaders say about what this one. This one is emotional intelligence. Now I'm switching gears here. Emotional intelligence is not an easy one. Sounds very, emotional intelligence, right? So let me ask the leaders here, what do they mean by emotional intelligence? This side of the panel, and this side of the panel they are going to say why it is important. So this side, emotional. What is emotional intelligence? Tanuja.
I think having a right balance between head and heart.
Wow, right balance between
you can clap, it's okay.
Head and heart. Super, I loved it.
Very well said. I would say, how do we use that in 3 things. One is for self, you can adapt more by using your emotional intelligence. Second is collaborate with others. And thirdly, how does that help you become better leaders?
Excellent. So how do you use for self? Collaborate with others, right? Those are the 2 things that I take. The third one is and become better. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So for me, actually, everything is going well. You are riding the highway. It's easy for you to navigate. But when things are down, how do you cope with adversities? How do you cope with failures? And also be empathetic to people who are around you is emotional intelligence.
So being empathetic is one aspect that you are
facing adversities.
Particularly during adversity.
Yes.
Thank you, Anvit. Okay. Why it is important? Why emotional intelligence is important?
So, Ram, since morning, everyone's been talking about AI. I think more than AI, HI is important. So HI is human intelligence. So you can even call it as emotional intelligence or emotional quotient. You can have very high IQ, but what really determines your success in the corporate world is your ability to handle your emotions. I have seen many people who tend to get, distressed. Today, in the world we also hear a lot about depression, anxiety. Many of these things became more prominent post the pandemic. The day you have, your equanimity, the ability to handle your emotions and also the ability to relate well to people around you, automatically your success is guaranteed. And I feel that is the most important ability.
Thank you, Rekha. Thank you. Human intelligence is what you have brought. In fact, somewhere I have read, as the, in this world of artificial intelligence and so on, there are few things that I don't think artificial intelligence will be able to recreate. That is the human intelligence part of it, empathy part of it, the heart and mind that you have mentioned. I think those are the things that will continue to be there with the human beings. Okay, Anandji.
Thank you, Ram, and panelists, thank you for the insights. And I want to just share one incident which happened today. Vipul Bhai, has played a lot of cricket, and we were discussing the value of being in the moment and emotionally intelligent, because many youngsters and people at your age come into Indian cricket team or play for IPL and stuff like that. If they have the emotional intelligence of handling that success, handling that sort of attention, handling the wealth, handling all the things which come with that sort of an achievement, if they are emotionally intelligent, only few of them really remain in their profession for long term and achieve greater success. But those who so-called lose the plot, and we know many names, I don't want to call them out, but with having a lot of potential and talent, if you are not emotionally intelligent, you may not achieve the potential what you have. So that's why emotional intelligence is important according to me.
Super. Thank you, Anandji. Surendra, over to you. Why emotional intelligence is important?
Yes. So students, as you go on to your corporate careers in future, what is the biggest risk do you think why you fail in a job? We all think technical skills might be the biggest reason why we fail, but wrong. As per a research, it says that 75% of careers fail due to lack of emotional intelligence. And as per my understanding, 100% of all relationships fail because of lack of emotional intelligence. So these two numbers to tell you how important emotional intelligence is for all of us. And yeah, that's the biggest skill we can learn as of now, as of today, for everyone, for IT engineers, for chemical engineers, for art, science, for everyone. Emotional intelligence is the biggest thing that we can learn that can make us successful, both in personal life and also in professional life.
Thank you, Surendra. You said a great point, because that reminds me of a research paper where they have analyzed the leaders in top multinationals. They were able to see the people who exhibited emotional intelligence, how successful they are. I think that's the secret there. Tanuja, you want to add anything here?
I just want to say this. I'm not able to concentrate or give answers because of the noise level in the room. It's over 150 plus years of experience sitting on the table. Each one of us have taken a break from our busy work schedule, which is a Friday, where we want to close the week. And we have traveled at least one plus hour. The least respect which I expect is to pay attention. That's the start of an emotional intelligence, where you are physically in the room, but your mind is not here. You are busy talking to your friends. You are really not getting out of the session. So the least service you can do to yourself and to the friend next to you is be present physically and emotionally here. At least we'll make the best out of the time. Do that much for yourself, not for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanuja. I think, at this moment, reflect for a minute in your mind, for your own well-being, what do you do? Well-being. This is the question that I'm going to ask to the panel. Well-being is fun, well-being could be anything. So, may I request, what Tanuja mentioned is, this panel has traveled quite a bit to come here, so that please be silent Don't talk to each other because it's actually sitting here, it's very difficult. That's what we all observe. Thank you for being silent. So think in your own mind, what is one thing that you are doing for wellness, which I'm going to ask to the panel here. So let me start, Surendra, with you first. What do you do for your own wellness?
Thank you, Ram. So I'm not as experienced as you. I'm still young. I have 25 more years of experience that I need to work in a corporate job. I intend to do that. And most of you would be working for 40 years, right? So treat your corporate job not as a T20 match, right? Treat it as a test match. Take one innings at a time. Take one day at a time. Don't play 6 sixes and get out next day, yeah, in the next over, right? So I see most of my friends who are 40, 41, 42 who are planning for retirement at 45 because they are so overworked in their current life, they are not taking a break and they want to achieve in 10 years. So my suggestion for all of you is pace yourself. Test match is not an easy match. You have to play every ball very well. It's as difficult as T20. But if you come with a attitude of playing a test match, you will succeed in your life, both professional and personal. So that is my mantra. Play a test match.
Play a test match. Give him a big round of applause. In fact, we say, be an athlete. Be a corporate athlete. So how do you be an athlete within the corporate world? I think it's nothing but take care of yourself and then being fit and so on. Right? Anandji, what's your wellness mantra?
Thank you, Ram. So folks, you are in your 20s. For our generation, there can be a retirement age, of 58, 60. In Western world, they have, removed retirement age. By the time you get to that age, you will not have the retirement age, which means you will end up working beyond your 60s as well. So wellness is extremely important. My wellness mantra is to take one day at a time. Find some time for your hobbies. I tend to cycle, frequently. I also like to read, and that keeps me sane, during my working time. Thank you.
Reading. Thank you. Reading and cycling. Give him a big round of applause. Thank you. Over to you, Rekha. What is your secret?
Before I say that, I want to ask a question to the audience, and I want a very, very honest answer. How many of you do any form of exercise? At least 3 times a week. Come on, be honest.
Raise your hand.
I can see only the front. At the back, okay, slowly the hands are going up. I hope you're being very truthful. Okay? And this chatting and WhatsApp, all that doesn't count as exercise. I'm talking about physical exercise or browsing. I'm not. Okay, great. See, the reason why I say that is, your physical well-being is extremely important. If you need to succeed in your corporate life, unless you're fit, you will not be able to. So I personally pay a lot of importance to my own fitness. I started running very late in life, but very quickly graduated to half marathons. I did a 100-kilometer cycle ride a few years back. So fitness is very, very important for me. And I don't know how many of you believe this, but when you exercise, you actually release endorphins. And it makes you feel very good. And it's a happiness hormone, right? So I'm sure those of you who exercise regularly, and I hope you're being candid when you said that, you will feel very nice. And that is so important, because when you get into the stress of corporate life, you have to have such avenues to be able to release stress and to continue to be mindful, right? Another very important thing, which again today has become so popular, is meditation. Anyone here who does meditation regularly? Yes?
Meditation.
Please don't think, oh, meditation is for these old people, who are in their 50s and 60s. It's not like that. Meditation is very, very powerful, extremely useful for every single one of us. Even if you spend 10 minutes or 5 minutes also every day meditating, you will see a huge difference in yourself.
Thank you, Rekha. Anvit, what's your wellness mantra?
Thanks, Ram. So 2 aspects, right? One is the physical well-being and the mental well-being. Physical, Rekha spoke about, exercise and so on and so forth. But at the same time, physical part, one is food. Be very, very cautious about what you eat. that is extremely important. Second is rest. That is also extremely important. Like you need to have at least like 7 to 8 hours of sleep to rejuvenate yourself. Then coming to the mental well-being, it's very, very important for you to be connected with your friends and family. It helps you to reduce your stress and anxiety. And at the same time, it really helps to be a bit religious or be into that spirituality aspect. Meditation is one such thing, and it really helps you because everything is not under your control. Sometimes things go out of it, and how do you face things which are not under your control? So you need to have that as a coping mechanism as well.
Thank you. Over to you, Vivek.
Thanks. I think well-being differs for different people, and also for the same person can differ based on where they are in the journey of life. I think it's important for people to work really hard, and the satisfaction and results that come out of that, rest and then recuperate as well. Of course, like good balance is very important. I think like Rekha said about exercise, we spoke about rest and sleep, all those things, but keeping in mind where you are in your life journey and what's the balance that you are trying to strive for is important.
Thank you. Tanuja.
So for me, sleep definitely it helps me reset the clock, and your mind is not overworked because otherwise it's telling you all the time which you don't want to think. So one is sleep. The second one is talking to your loved ones and being with your, whoever is that person, the friend, the family, anybody that you lean into. The moment you are sharing a lot more, your stress levels come down and your wellness is better. So sleep and staying connected with people.
Yeah, in fact, a great point you have brought. In fact, we do in our surveys, employee engagement surveys, we do talk about, do you have a best friend at work? The reason is you need to have someone whom you could express yourself, you could pour out your emotions, you could talk anything that you are undergoing with your best friend. That's why we asked that question. So we want to have good friendships in the organization too. So that's where, there is someone whom you could listen to, or, someone is coming to you to pour out their issues. So thank you for bringing up that aspect. Thank you. So we will switch gears. So far we have covered, first we started with personal brand, then went to emotional intelligence, and now well-being. So in all these cases, right, keep these words in mind and see what you are going to do, because in the end you are going to do a mental exercise. And the last one is, when I look at this event has been possible because of streetcars, which is doing the kind of community service. That's what I understand. So in all our organization, we do a lot of community service, we do the social responsibility. So keeping that in mind, I know each one of us are doing in our own way. Tanuja, let me start with you. What is that you are doing in terms of social responsibility wise, social consciousness wise, and why it is important?
Sure. So I want to ask the audience here, you are getting a lot of salary from a brand which is not a great brand. Would you still pick up that job? Yes? The brand really doesn't matter. They may be doing things which are not ethically right, so long as I get the job, because that's most important to me. And especially at 22 years, what matters is me, myself, and me getting the job. Take this a little further, and the brand is doing something ethically wrong. Let's say there is a sexual harassment case, and that person who is harassed is your sister. Would you still join that company? Yes or no? What changed? It's the same company. They did something ethically wrong, but did it to somebody else. So long as I was getting my salary, I was okay. But the moment it is personalized to myself or something which is happening to me, I suddenly feel disconnected. I feel this is not the brand I want to associate with. So it is important in today's lives to understand how brands are standing ethically on the right responsibility. Have you heard of CSR? CSR, I'm going to leave that word with you, understand what it is. How many of you also think that there is a parallel economy which is the social impact sector. Any one of you have heard about it? There's something called circular economy. I'm leaving these words for you to think how you want to build your career. There are profit-making organizations and there are social impact organizations. And the two are merging beautifully today. And what is happening is social impact organizations are also turning out to be profitable. I'm going to leave you 3 examples which you can go and check for yourself. This will tell you that there is a parallel economy. As much as we should be making profits, all of us should be having deep pockets for making money. There is a social cause which is equally important, and there is a social impact sector which is coming up for your future jobs, and the two shall merge together. I'm telling you 2 case studies. Go read about them. It will tell you how corporates are thinking about it and how, as consumers and also job seekers, you need to be socially conscious. One is Zara. Have you heard of the Zara brand? Yes. Okay. Go read about it on their labor practices. You will get a lot of insights on how the brand was shunned for the labor practices. I will leave it to you with that. It's a lot of malpractices where the clothing was secured from Bangladesh. I will leave it there. The other one is Levi's. You have heard of the brand, of course. Okay. So their dyeing of clothes and securing of the clothes from the farmers was shunned again. Read about it. And at this point in time, you will think these are great brands. I will still buy those clothes. If you are a farmer, you are not impacted. You don't think about it from that lens. Do the research. You will understand how these two parallel economies are merging. The third one which I want you to leave with is the word called ESG. Okay? Go Google, find out. Now, there is a very, very large set of audience which are looking at how corporates are building their practices, how organizations are ethical or not. It's important for you to understand how you pick up a job, and 2, look for social impact organizations as your career options. I will stop there. There's a lot here.
Thank you, Tanuja. You taught you 3-letter words, right? CMR they know. Now you introduce CSR.
Yes.
So you ask them to do the groundwork, and also you have asked them to do ESG.
ESG.
Right? Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. A lot of homework for the audience.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Vivek, you want to add anything?
See, I think like we spoke about well-being, so it's all about having holistic development. I don't think holistic development is possible without keeping the CSR and the ESG impact in mind. So I think it's incumbent upon each one of us to think more holistically and more importantly see how we can contribute as such.
Okay. Contribute more, individually. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Ram. I echo with Tanuja what Tanuja said. A country like India with 140 crore population, expecting government to solve all the problems is not going to happen. And at the same time, there are organizations. I'll speak a bit about Rapido here. Rapido started off as a company to solve the problem of commute. In the process of it, roughly, we call our drivers as captains. Almost 50 lakh captains are making money through Rapido, and at the same time, every month around 8 lakh captains use Rapido as a source of income, livelihood for themselves. So you can be, as Tanuja said, you can make an impact. There is a social problem. You can still be a company, make profits out of it, but solve the problem for people and the society as such.
I think you brought up a great point. You are solving the social problem, and that you are making money, which is important for the organization. So in the organization that I work for, Deloitte, we have what is known as Impact Day. In a year, all the 90,000 employees, we give one day, officially, a day to provide social service. We have 50 projects that we have taken up, wherein it could be orphanage, it could be child education, girl education, and so on. And people throughout the year they contribute, but on that day, on a paid day, they go around and then they do contribute. In fact, across the country, across the world, that's something that we believe all our employees need to do, contribute to the society and the community that we work for. Rekha, over to you. Anything that you want to add?
Yeah, I just want to add more along similar lines, Ram. I think, most organizations, depending on where you join, you will have CSR committees, and there is incredible work being done. See, no one's going to force you, but the choice is always yours, right? And believe me, there's immense personal benefit to participating in initiatives like this. For example, in our organization, we do a lot of work with underprivileged schools. In fact, one of the schools that we took over was actually a den for alcoholics. And every day, tons and tons of bottles would be found there. So imagine small kids, it's not a condition where they can go and study, right? So we did a lot of work with that school, revamped the entire school, did a lot of work with the community, encouraged the parents to start sending their schools, kids again to school. And there's a huge benefit. So you will have an opportunity to participate in such initiatives. Now whether you do it or not, is the choice is always yours. But if you do, I can guarantee the learning that you get, the emotional intelligence, the well-being, everything that we spoke about earlier, the personal branding, all of this gets encompassed into this experience that you will gain by participating in initiatives like this and supporting, the underprivileged communities.
Anand, would you like to add?
Thank you, Rekha. Thank you, Ram. So, folks, are you with me? Can you say hi again?
Hi.
Okay. Only some of you, right? So, I'll say something and you have to repeat after me, okay? So, are you ready? Yes. When I contribute to community, louder. When I contribute to community,
when I contribute to community,
I gain more.
I gain more.
Okay, I'll give you example. No, that don't want to repeat. Thank you. Most of you are good bots. Okay, excellent. So, volunteering is a very, very important community work. Today in the audience in the front row, if you see, there are at least half a dozen people who are in the boards of the organizations because they have found some social cause and volunteered for it, and they gain those positions in large organizations, in large communities. Volunteering has given me a lot of exposure. Many of you have heard about London Olympic, which was there in 2012. I was volunteering in London Olympic for Olympic as well as Paralympic for my own sports, which was basketball and handball. Now, looking at me, you know that I am not that athlete who can, compete in Olympic. But to get an exposure to work in what we call it as field of play, which means you are next to those players and working along with the players and the International Olympic Committee, those kind of things become possible when you volunteer and you have the ability and willingness to go in the community and contribute. So I would encourage each one of you to pick up some such projects, go ahead and contribute. You will gain much more than what you are giving to the community.
Thank you, Anandji. I think, what you have said is contribute to the community. So we have shared our experiences, the panel of 6 eminent leaders here. Give them a big round of applause. What we are going to do is, just to remember what we have taught, you are going to repeat after me, but then we do in a particular way. This left side of the crowd, only this crowd, you say emotional intelligence. Say loudly. This side, personal brand. That side, well-being. Okay, shout now, this side. You forgot already, emotional intelligence. Personal brand. Emotional intelligence. And all three are important and contribute to the society. And the final secret is taking good selfie is important. So I'm going to take the selfie of this entire audience with the panel. This is the secret for success. and post it. Okay, come, let's the panel. Let's take the selfie. Thank you very much. You have been a great audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I request the crowd to please settle down. Your buses are not moving till the end of this program, so I want you guys to settle down. Your buses are still here, right? Thank you so much. Swiftly moving on, we'll have the last panel discussion right now happening. This will be a fireside chat with 12 students elected on the stage. The topic is preparing for future of digital workforce, developing future ready skills. I would now like to invite Srinivas Rao Mahankali sir, CEO of T-Hub, Amit Saho, Vinay Prabhu, Agnivesh Thakur, Sirisha Kumireddy and Virat Singh. To give you a brief discussion about the leaders, Srinivas Rao Mahankali, also known as MSR, is the CEO of the world's largest innovation hub, that is T-Hub. He is an IT industry veteran with over 36 years of experience. His professional career spans 3 journeys: as IT professional for 12 years, as entrepreneur for 22 years, later as ecosystem builder since 2020, first as CEO of GAME, which is Global Alliance for Mass Entrepreneurship, a social impact entity focused on solving issues related to experience across various HR domains, currently leading global HR initiatives at Narwhal, an IT startup specializing in cutting-edge technologies such as cloud, data, automation, AI and ML. Next we have is Vinay Prabhu. Vinay Prabhu, Senior Director Engineering Services with Infosys Limited. He's worked with some large clients in high-tech segment in their digital transformation innovatives. The next person we have is Agnivesh Thakur, who is accomplished HR technology consulting leader. He is dedicated to revolutioning the way organizations leverage technology to optimize HR functions. He is also the National Treasurer for NHRDN. Agnivesh specializes in guiding organizations towards digital HR transformation to optimize their workforce, enhance employee experience. Sirisha Kumireddy is the second talent development professional with 2 decades of experience spanning various industry verticals. As a post-graduation in management and accounting, she pursued a certification in global business leadership from U21 Global and Harvard Business Planning. She is currently working as the Global Head Talent Development for Signity Technologies. The last person we have here is Virat Singh. He is the product manager at Razorpay, leading monetization and growth. He is an MBA from ISB and is graduated with scholarship. He has previously worked with Amazon, leading engineering for Alexa. I would now hand over the stage to you guys. Thank you.
Okay, so good afternoon everyone. How's the Josh today? How's the Josh today? Can't hear you at all. How's the Josh today? Okay, little better. Very low energy. It's only 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Still. Sounds like okay. The topic we have is preparing for the future of digital workforce, developing future ready skills. So I believe there are 24 selected participants. Where are they? Okay, they are all coming. Okay, folks, all ready? All set? What's happening? Why is this mass exodus? We should tell the organizers to close all the doors.
Excuse me, sir. Just to keep you guys posted, like I've announced, the buses are not moving right now. The buses will commence only after the end of the program, so you guys need not panic about buses. You can please come down and sit.
Yeah, I think our conversation should be more focused on people who are interested. We do have a bunch of kids who are interested in asking questions.
We all know what we're going to be talking about, right? So, any one of you want to kick it off? So, very quickly, I'll quickly introduce the panel in case you didn't listen to what was being said earlier. So, we have first here is Virat, then we have Amit, we have Sirisha, we have Agnivesh, and we have Vinay, right? So, very quickly, Virat is from Razorpay, Amit is from Narwal, Sirisha is from Signity, Agnivesh is from Deloitte, and Vinay is from Infosys, right? So I'm sure all of you will probably want to be queuing up to get into these companies after you graduate. So please make sure you put together a good impression on them, okay? Ask them difficult questions so they think, whatever. Okay, so let's start. The theme is preparing for the future of the digital workforce and developing future-ready skills. So any one of you can start and throw it open. If there's someone specific you want to ask, do it that way, or we'll just throw it open to everyone.
Good evening, all. My question is, as you see, the digital literacy is increasing day by day. When you come to maybe for students or else for every person, it became a necessary part. Like learning digital skills become very necessary. So in evolving era of digital landscape at workplace, what are the core required skills for someone like me as a student learn to be good at digital things, such as digital literacy?
So sorry, can you quickly tell us your name?
Rahul.
Rahul. Okay. So would you like to go first, Virat? Let's do this clockwise and anti-clockwise.
Sure. Thank you for the introduction, and thanks, Rahul. That's an interesting question, right? So I think the biggest thing when it comes to how to kind of prepare yourself for this in the world of digital literacy is just the capacity to adapt on the fly and the agility to kind of do it on the fly, right? Because the digital world is moving at the speed of like a mile a minute, right? Because right now we see Gen AI, before that there was the talk about the metaverse, before that the blockchain. So things are moving at a rapid fire pace. And I think the biggest key to succeed in a world like this is just the capability to be able to adapt on the fly like that. And more so about, I would say, look at it in the sense that how can the digital changes empower you further, right? It's not about, it's not about using them as a tool. It's about trying to see if you can use them to unlock higher potential than you can currently utilize. So what I'm trying to say is, don't think of it as like Microsoft Word or a tool like that. Think of it like, as a assistant that you might be able to have, and use it in a much higher capacity than you currently think of. So.
Just do a quick follow-up with, so one is, I think you talked about skills, right? Also, obviously, I guess knowledge and attitude are important, right? So I'm going to, between you and Amit, if you could talk about the relative importance of knowledge and attitude in combination to skills, right? And when I'm going to ask Sirisha and I think, should I ask Vinay or should I ask anyone? Okay, I'm going to ask you, I think, about hard skills and soft skills, right? So if you can cover the first part and then we'll ask them.
So knowledge skill
MSR, knowledge and skill, attitude. So knowledge, skill and attitude, you know, more than attitude, it is also the ability. That is where competency comes. And competency is required for everything. But to use your competency, you need your attitude. Right? Now, what is important today, especially for students, is to have a very open mind. Lot of technology changes we are also witnessing at work. When you are in your first year of engineering, by the time you complete your fourth year and ready for placement, whatever you have studied, most of them would have changed. So what is required over here is a growth mindset. And that will happen when you have knowledge, skill and attitude. So what is growth mindset? Is ensuring that you are continuously learning. That becomes very essential for all of you. Now what is continuous learning? Anyone? You ask the question, what is continuous learning? Upskilling yourself continuously. Okay. In fact, whatever earlier panelists have also said is, your competition is with you and not with everybody in this batch. Every day think, what is that 1% increment that I have done in my knowledge? Then you will see that the digital divide, or whatever we are calling it, you will be able to conquer it in a much, much better way. Okay? Yeah. Sir.
Sirisha.
So the question which is asked by MSR is about the importance of having a good balance between hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills typically are your technology skills, your technical skills, the technical acumen that you have, because you are trained for that in college, right? Some of you are computer sciences graduates here, yeah? So you do have programming skills as basic, so that is required for you to move on in your career or to join an organization. This is what you'll be tested. All right. Similarly, for someone who's joining a pharma or a manufacturing, maybe IT skills or the technical skills are not required, but you might have some domain knowledge which is required. These are the hard skills. Today, in today's world, what takes you further in your career is not just the technical capability or the technical skills and knowledge, but also your soft skills. When I say soft skills, it could be something which Rekha and team have covered on the emotional intelligence. Communication plays a major role in you furthering your career. When I say communication, how do we actually select a candidate for the organization? We come to campuses and we select people, right? We do an aptitude test, we do a technical round. We also do a conversation with you all, right? When we have that conversation, when we are conducting that conversation with you all, we see how good you're able to articulate what you're thinking. What is articulation? Very simple. Are you able to express what you have in your mind or not? That is something that we check on. Because if you do not understand what I'm trying to say, tomorrow if there is a client requirement which is being given to you, what would you make out of it? Nothing, right? So you're lost. You don't know what the technical requirement that the client is giving. So communication for me plays a major role for you to further your career. Similarly, comprehension skills, again trying to understand what we're trying to say, articulate as you speak. These two things form the basic it is the toolkit for me to take you into an organization. Again, a right balance is important. I cannot say technical is less important than soft skills. Both of them need to be in the right balance. Depends again on the role that you pick up. If you're in a marketing and communication kind of a role, maybe you don't need that many technical skills that you require in a soft skill, in a technical area. But however, if your role is a core engineer kind of a role, software engineer kind of role, communication might take a back seat, but then technical skills would be the basis for you to move up. So that's my take, sir.
Yeah, so this happens when you are given a topic and your co-panelist has always spoken your mind, right? But then you need to rephrase your own stuff like that, right? So I'll just add a couple of things to this. See, this is again a big debate, not happening from today, it's happening from ages, right? That soft skills versus tech skills or experience, what is happening, right? So a lot of newer psychological assessments and industries are talking about that what is core important for you. In whatever situation you see, there are 3-4 basic things will remain the same. One, be it your tech skills, soft skills, anything, that what we look at in terms of your own growth is the first is conceptual clarity. I will not repeat what they all did, but we'll talk about what is the conceptual clarity, because do you really know what we mean, what you mean, right? And even if you are looking any tech, if you don't know the possibility of the tech, you don't know what could be the use cases of this tech, how this tech can be used, probably that might not give you the confidence to do that. And in any recruiter, anywhere you go, you will always struggle with that. So first thing you need to look at the conceptual clarity. Then again, all the World Economic Forum talks about that creative thinking, analytical thinking, problem solving, empathy, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. You can always look at that. Look at, because I represent business, right? I represent business because when I hire you guys to my team, what I look at, one, at this point of time, I want you guys to look at own your tech skills, or you need to look at, or you will place on the certain projects where you will be doing the most client-facing role, where tech skill is not important, but you can play some business analyst role and probably do something like that, right? So these are the various roles that we looked at. Then your question will be that what is in for me, what I should do, where I should focus upon, right? The day, and I am making very responsible statement, the day you are passing out from the college, you are obsolete. So please don't think that what got you here will take you there. So the day you are passing out, you are obsolete. Because any organization will go, and my friends sitting here, they hired chemical engineer and made them IT engineers, right? They hired petrochemical engineers, they made this stuff. So I don't care about tech, I am caring about you. I am caring about your skills, because do you have the real critical thinking skills? Have you do you have the ability to learn, as Amit was saying, right? The learning agility has to be high, right? So these are the basic things that we generally look in terms of skilling. What we also looked at in terms of continuous skilling. I just give example. I was talking to a candidate, and candidate was like saying that, sir, honestly, my course was boring, I didn't do much. But I went to Coursera and did multiple courses. And this is what I figured out. Though I'm an electronics engineer, but I care and am, because I was not getting the rank, and I got the rank and I got admission. But this was not my calling. And I don't have the luxury to change it. But what I did, I found my calling in Python. So what I did these courses, and I am good at it. And with this, I also participated in many hackathon where I got multiple awards. So probably, some of my ideas were selected. Within 2 minutes, he was selected in my team. So imagine kind of opportunity that we need to look at, right? And then once what happens that once you're conceptually clear, obviously your confidence will speaks from your ways itself. These are the basic things I talk about: the hard skills, soft skills, evaluation.
I think to add on to what both Sirisha and Nimesh said, theory is one part. I'm sure you'll all crack it, you're all smart, you'll do it. It's all about how you are going to put it into practice. That's more important, right? You learn something, build something out of it. Make a proof of concept, demonstrate it to somebody. A picture can replace 1,000 words, that's what we say, right? A demo or a POC can replace 1,000,000 pictures. That's more important. What can you demonstrate to your audience, to the panel, the interviewers, whoever it is, right? Your skill is going to come out through what you can build and showcase. It's not about few questions that you answer in an interview panel. That's not what is important. Like he rightly said, your degree could have been somewhere else. We hire people for their problem-solving skills, their analytical thinking skills. That's what is required at the end of the day. Because tomorrow we don't know where the technology is going to go. We're all talking about being future ready. Nobody has seen the future, right? We have to be confident in our conceptual skills, right? Like he rightly said. That is what is important. And use that to build something which you can showcase to people. I think that will talk volumes about yourselves.
So one question I'm sure maybe they are waiting to articulate, maybe they'll say, how important are grades in your college, 9.4 or whatever CGPA? Does it really matter when you hire?
Yeah, I can answer that. I've been doing a lot of hiring. Grades is just a criteria. For example, it will be like, are you 60% or more? That's it. But trust me, there are great candidates who have a great HackerRank score. We are more inclined towards interviewing them than a person who has a 90.
counselors who are available out there. You know that most of this career counseling institutes which are available, they do it free of cost. You don't have to really enroll and pay them a ransom and then go ahead and be a part of it. You can talk to them and see what are, let's say I'm doing commerce today. For me to move on and pick up a post-graduation, or for me to pick up a career, what are the opportunities which are available? They'll give you a map of the different things that you can do after you complete your graduation. Similarly for a BTech grad, what is that they can pick up? Today I've done mechanical engineering, but tomorrow I want to get into digital or I want to get into IT, what is that I can do? So this information will be available, and most institutes are tied up with this career counseling organizations. You should seek help from them, while from an industry perspective, we don't care. I don't care what background you come from. Once you clear the interview, you're part of the organization. Me as a learning and development professional, I will train you on the requisite skills, which is what I'm going to do. That's my job, right? So it's up to you as to what you want to choose, and you should be passionate about doing something. Just don't pick it up because it's come your way. Pick it up because you're interested in doing it. It could be like you could be a BTech graduate, but you want to do some digital marketing stuff. It's pretty interesting today, right? A lot of youngsters pick up digital marketing. So don't hesitate, but then possess relevant skills before you explore those opportunities in the market. Just don't be there and say, hey, I want to pick up digital marketing. Who'll give you an opportunity? No one wants to give you an opportunity in that area, right? Okay.
So recently I've gone through a career counseling course I have taken. Okay, the company is EduMiles. And what I found out is there are 84 career paths, and each path has got like 16 tracks and sub-tracks. So it's a huge tree kind of a thing, right? So what I would suggest is, like Sirisha said, career counseling, they have psychometric assessments, okay, which I also took. And I found out that I should have been an entrepreneur. So I realized it now, and MSR is here, so you'll see something in the next few years coming out with something from THub for sure. But what I'm trying to say over here is, you all must do some psychometric analysis so that you know exactly which line to be picked up. Now, it will be very close to your aspirations, or it may not be, for which counseling is required. Where, like my friends talked about here, it could be a mentor, but definitely not your relatives or parents. It has to be someone who is neutral, who will guide you in your career. Okay?
It's okay, you can speak louder. Don't worry.
Good evening, everyone. My question is, I think I'm asking right people.
We hope we are the right people.
What would be a better answer for why should we hire?
Why should we hire?
Okay, so this is a very interesting question, right? Because people come to us while they are going for their MBA saying that, can you please tell me what is my weakness, what is my strength? So see, when they say why I should hire you, this is the moment of glory has been given to you to present yourself. Make it and break it happen in that way itself. There is no as such, secret sauce that I will say that, hey, you go and tell this. That doesn't work. See, there is always an intention of asking this question, because they wanted to know you. Okay, how confident you are about yourself. When you yourself have a self-doubt, then how you think I will give you some. So this is nothing that you are taking cheat sheet. You are taking cheat sheet and then trying to make something. This will not work. That's why I'm saying that whenever this question comes, this is nothing a constant and very conscious effort to find about yourself. Authenticity is the key. Integrity is the key. The rest all will be taken care of. You can also write ChatGPT, please tell me what I say. They will all give you answer. They will give you answer better than us. But this will not work. Each one of you have unique. So I just give you another story where, another story in fact. Okay. So another story where we went to a campus. Okay, we went to a campus and then I say, same thing, tell me what I had you. The guy, and I will not name the campus, the guy said the same thing. I was so impressed, such a Shakespearean English. It's too good, I was so impressed. It's a fact. Then I asked the same question to other guy. He also said the same thing. I think 4 of the students, they said the same thing. I said, wow. Same parra they read. They went to the same chief, so that doesn't work, that doesn't impress me, right? So I was impressed. If I could not have asked the question to the second guy, I could have given him the best offer. Right? So imagine this is all individualistic. So you should know yourself first. Unless you know yourself, it will be easy for people to judge. And they see authenticity, they hire you to do that and stuff like that. So there is no, as such, any fixed answer or good answer to do that, right? At least all you can get some inputs about what is on product. That is about you.
I totally agree. Nothing more to add. You need to be yourself. That's it.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. So first of all, to give a little bit background about myself, I am right now a computer science undergrad, and I'm into technical background. So as you already told, we have to take psychometry to choose which field we want to go into. Even when we do that, it's very uncertain. Right now, I have a dilemma whether I am fit for a technical role or for a non-tech role. And I seem to, when I think about technical role, it's all about upskilling yourself and every time learning some new technology and always understanding it and again adapting to it. But when you're talking about non-technical role, it's about problem solving. It is our day-to-day skills, and it's about managing a company to unleash its potential. So I seem to be more inclined to non-tech role, but I have that small dilemma whether should I go into that role? What if I fail? And I also want to understand the relevance of doing an MBA because many roles which are non-tech usually they make a mandate of having a commerce degree or a business background, business degree. So how relevant is that? And what should I do to actually maybe which field to choose and how should I become good in that field and build a good career?
First part I'll give Virat this. No, actually, I wanted to pull the mic from you when you said non-technical, I don't need to learn. No, definitely not true. Right from 1:30 today, I think every panelist has made a point that continuous learning is the name of the game. There is no getting away from it. There is no shortcut. Hard work has no substitute. Okay? Take any field. I mean, when you said non-technical, I was saying medical. I was just thinking while you were speaking. If the doctor is going to treat you based on what he learned 20 years ago, you will still be on that bed, right? There are new, or maybe not, right? The advances that have happened in medicine, the doctor has to know so that he can treat the patient with the latest available tools at his hand, right? That is extremely important, and that is true for any industry you go to. So there is no getting away from this. Saying technology means I have to keep upskilling because it's continuously evolving, I need to learn. Is there any other place where I don't need to learn and I'm safe? There is no such thing on the earth today. Even if it's a farmer who's doing a great work out on the fields there are huge advancements out there to increase the yield and so on, right? To going to space, right? I'm taking extremes. There is a reusable boosters out there. Earlier it was not there, right? Now everything is changing. Is there a part of anybody's industry that is not touched? No, that's not true. So there is no substitute for hard work. There is nothing that once you have learned it, that's it. You have to continuously learn.
So see, we all have this dilemma that whether we are doing right thing or wrong thing, sometimes we just go with the flow. While we are going with the flow, we also keep learning. Okay? So then over to our young.
Sure. So I think these days the juxtaposition between technical and non-technical is actually blending. A lot of, especially the roles that are going to come up because of AI, right, are going to need you to have an amalgamation of both. Just an example that actually comes up at work is when you're talking about AI, right? A lot of AI is trained on biased data. So like, how do you trade off between removing those biases, but then it might reduce your response accuracy, right? Stuff like data privacy. For example, an AI model is trained on a user's data. A user wants to delete the data, but the data has already been consumed by the model. So these are not technical problems, but they're deeply rooted in technical concepts. So I think, especially in the coming future, these things are going to mix together. Regarding the question about the MBA, I'll be very frank here. I don't think you ever need an MBA. I'll be very honest. That being said, you will kind of hit a glass ceiling if you don't do an MBA, right? Go look at the VPs or directors of any of the companies that you want to join. 99% of them will have an MBA. And that's because you cannot climb further in your career if you don't have an MBA. So some other candidate, you might be smarter than them, but just because they have an MBA, they will be given the edge over there. If you want to climb the corporate ladder, I would eventually suggest you do an MBA. And do it earlier, because from what I've noticed, a lot of recruitment agencies and just recruiters in general, your years of pre-MBA are not valued as much as your years post-MBA. So the earlier you do, the better it will be. So hopefully that clarifies. Sorry? College matters, because again, right, if you put yourself in the shoes of a recruiter, there are hundreds and thousands of candidates that you have to kind of recruit, right? You want signals from them. Your college is a potential signal. Your GPA is a potential signal. So anything that can kind of help will definitely help your case. And also, your college matters more so than anything because of your alumni network, right? And your alumni network from some Ivy League college is way more powerful than your alumni network from something that's not as prestigious. So, yeah.
So just to add one thing, I am an alumni of XLRA. Okay, yeah, and alumni networks are very powerful. That's one. Now at this age, I am also doing a global HR program from National University of Singapore. Why I am investing? Like Rekha, she did CHRO course from ISB, and I'm sure others are also doing something. It's important that we all need to invest in education, and yes, the college name matters. So for that, you really need to study well. While grades are not important, I am still sticking to it. Quickly, from a psychometric test standpoint, just wanted to clarify, it will not tell you to choose one career. It will give you 5 out of those 16 that you can choose from. So for me, first one was entrepreneurship. The second closest was politics. Third one was HR, social service, advertising and marketing. So if you follow me on LinkedIn, you will know how much I market myself and my companies. Yeah? So.
Just to answer the question that you had, are you clear? Am I clear about what I want to do? None of us here is clear about what we want to do in life. You will go figure. Okay? So if you're thinking that today I need to know what exactly I'm going to do 20 years later, that's not going to happen. All of us ended up in these kind of jobs either by choice or by chance. Most of them I would say by chance. So till you actually get there and try to wade through the waters, you'll not understand what your passion is about. And if you're thinking everyone in this room, even the lecturers in your college, the management of your college, already know what they want to do, no. This is called an imposter syndrome. All of us suffer with that, and then read a little more about it, you'll understand it.
Okay. So just one thing, MBA is important, and what I would say is MBA is important, okay. What you need to do is get some experience and then do MBA. You will be placed very quickly than the person from the college who has done an MBA. Because as companies, when we go for campus, if someone has experience, they get a little higher pay also, and they are the first one to be chosen. So just a piece of advice I wanted to give you.
Similar to the question you have answered, so I'm pursuing Bachelor of Management Studies from St. Francis College for Women. And they call it like an elite course. So I wanted to ask you if pursuing MBA would be better after BMS, or having a job experience would be better, because when we talk to our teachers also, they're like, you're already doing BMS, it's better if you do a job and all, but we are very confused because.
So I'll quickly respond to that question. Okay. So I'm going to respond one to point Virat made and Amit made. So you know what the full form of MBA is? Huh? No, this Maha Bevakoof Aadmi. Okay, first. That's one. And I'll tell you one more thing, right? I did my MBA 37 years ago. Before some of the people on this panel were born, I think, right? So two takeaways, right? First of all, I think there is empirical evidence to prove that the value of an MBA is for the first 7 years after you graduate, after which equalization because of what you've done in the workforce takes over. That's one. Second, I think to respond to your point, I can tell you even from personal experience that I think working for a couple of years, so for example, if you're going to discuss strategy, right, which is what you learn, for example, in MBA, right, or for example, so I'll tell you quick this thing, right. So one of the things which you learn in an MBA course is selling 101, right. But if you've never sold, for you to be able to relate, become very, very hard, right. So I think, and if you look at what happens, for example, for B schools in the US as opposed to India, B schools in the US insist that you need to have at least 2 or 3 years or for example, even an ISB, right? You need to have worked for 3 years because then you can relate what is being taught to some of the experiences which you've had in the workplace, right? So it's always probably, I would say that it's probably better to work for about 2 or 3 years and then decide to do an MBA. Yeah? And that way you don't become a burden on your parents also. Okay.
And your college, Deloitte and ADP, they take everyone. So you don't get a chance to work only. So they have to be blamed.
So the question is right back at you. What is that you want to do? Forget about what your lecturer wants you to do. So my question still remains the same. What is that you want to do? Not something that your mother did or your aunt did, but typically you as an individual, what are you wanting to do? Do you want to really pick up a job, work for a couple of years, then do your MBA, or you want to do MBA? What is your inclination towards? Mm-hmm.
So I want to do a course which is related to it. Side by side, I also want to have job experience,
Pick one, you'll do phenomenally well. Don't worry about it. Internship is another idea that Amit has, so probably that's something that you can do.
Long internship. And just because the internship they don't do it, so still go and do it. Lot of knowledge you need.
Career counseling? Absolutely. Sure. Any other questions? How much time do we have, MS sir? Okay, so any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. We can see how prominent ChatGPT and other AI bots have become currently. You know, they get all the stuff done. I myself get my project reports done in ChatGPT. I hope none of my faculty is here. So it's become easier now. But eventually, when this phenomenon takes over, how will this affect the relevance of our current skill sets which we grow? How will this affect the relevance? How important are the skill sets which we have currently? How will they be important?
Anyone wants to take this?
Okay. Basically, to put it in simple words, AI is making us too comfortable, and the skill sets which we grow currently, how relevant will they be in the future when AI takes bigger strides?
So I'll take one shot that you are looking at the outcome, but you are not looking at engineer. Engineer, I expect you to be the prompt engineer, right? So why don't we look at I will become a prompt engineer itself, or some, or any skills which makes me not the user of AI, but the person who is developer of AI. So can I look at creating certain thing on the LLM, right? Can I build certain thing on NLP, right? So you try to see if you can get to the back end of it rather than using the front end of it and stuff like that, right? So I think that will be one of the logical career move or probably investment in your upskilling itself, right? And then others like for BMS people, so what you can look at in terms of how can I use this technology? How I can use this technology to the larger benefit? How can how problem can be solved using this technology itself, right? So you can build on those use cases and do that. Then again, come back to the engineers and say that, hey, I have a use case. Can you please build this prototype for them and stuff like that? So this is how the entire thing works.
Agree. I think you are looking at it from how to use AI. That's why he gave the example of prompt engineering. That will be a kind of new area going forward. Can you ask the right questions to get the appropriate answers? Because ChatGPT knows only what it knows, right? But how are you going to develop such systems? That's where the skill comes in, right? If you are looking at from an end user perspective, but from a technology perspective, from a development perspective, if that's your aim, if that's your goal, you need to look at how to develop such things in the future. You know, that's why we spoke earlier. It's not the technology that matters. It's the concepts that matters. Your fundamentals are good, technology doesn't matter. Technology is changing at such a rapid pace. We can't keep up with it, right? Whether it was Angular yesterday, React today, whether it was some other skills, right? Yeah. Finally, your OOP skills are good, your concepts are clear, your design patterns, anti-patterns, all those are okay. Technology perspective. I think you can crack any. You don't need to be an expert at everything you do. Today, before you can become an expert, you'll have to move on to something else. Right? So can you grasp it quickly? That's why we spoke about problem solving, analytical skills, being creative at it, being flexible to move from one thing to another. Those are important. Right? That's the key.
Which each of these panelists have to answer in one. Okay, you ask anybody, just point to somebody and ask them. 1 minute, okay, 1 minute response from the panelists. Quick fire round.
Hi, I'm Shloka. I'm currently studying Bachelor's in Design Interior Design. Being a part of Streetcoins, I've learned, maintaining alumni relations and probably maintaining network will be really important. I just wanted to get your insight on how to actually reach out, connect, and maintain that network. For years to come along.
Who do you want to ask?
Sure, 1 minute, right? So I think first thing like alumni are smart, right? They understand that students want to reach out, not just because maybe they're interested in their story, but they want like a referral or something like that. So they're smart enough to understand that. So just be upfront about what you want. Don't try to, wave something around and be like, this is what I want, but actually you want something else. People can see through that. Number 2, just try to find alumni that you have some kind of a connection with, right? Maybe they went to the same school as you, or maybe they are working in an industry or a company that you want to join. That is a good way to kind of connect with, because then there is genuine interest over there, and that will make it just easier for you to kind of, get to know them. And number 3, don't treat it like a one and done thing. You're like, okay, I've sent you my resume, just refer me, or can you give me some feedback? Try to keep the relationship alive, right? Whenever you visit their city, just say like, hey, I'm in town, let's grab some coffee or something. That will not only make the relationship stronger, but they'll be more likely to mentor you in the future, they'll be more likely to help you in the future, and that's a genuine friendship. So that's just my
technical issues and skills are required. I'm from a law background, associated, I'm here to industry. My question is, since all the students are constantly worrying about the regular change of digital skills that are required, I want to know the insight of the corporate world on how they are facing or managing a huge transition that is happening
So I'll come from the same background that you've come. So you are a student of law, right? So if I'm hiring a legal consultant into my organization, I wouldn't look at programming skills for that individual. I would look at someone who can understand and navigate through the digital map that we have within the organization. Do you know Outlook? Do you know the basic PowerPoint presentations, etc., etc.? Then again, having a bit of digital literacy, which can make your job easier, effortless, and the time is going to be, super fast, outcome based. So this is what I would look at, and you don't have to really get worried about the whole story of I need to be up there in the race. It's not a race for sure. Okay, so again, people say that I need to be up there, I need to understand AI, I need to understand ML. All this is good, but get your basic skills right. Today, you are an undergrad. For the rest of the students who are here, engineering, BTech grads, get your programming, the OOPS concepts that you're talking about, SDLC. These are the things which are required for you to secure a job. Once you get there, you can pick up new skills. Certifications are available up there in the market, right? There's so many hordes of certifications which are available in the market. How many students from this on the dais who are present here are doing something over and above what your college is, teaching? Certifications, anyone? 3 of you. This is a good number. I was in another college recently, and there was a room filled with 200 people. There's only one person who raised their hand. They feel that the college is giving them enough education. They don't really need to go out and seek any certifications, but these things are going to help. It is of self-interest to you. No one is forcing you to do it, but you're picking it because you think this will advance your opportunity to get into a corporate. This is important. Similarly, just check what is relevant for the area that you're working in and you're seeking a job in, and pick that. That's good enough. Don't get into the rat race.
Okay, one last question before the guy,
Sir, you actually stole my question at the start. I actually thought of asking you out regarding how a student makes himself ready for the industry, post-graduation, post-college or so, where I've spoken to many friends or people, students in and around, where they complete their graduation, but they have a certain skills of soft or hard, getting both of them in conclusion, but they're not industry ready. How could we use educational systems or colleges and make students adapt to digital skills and make them ready above?
So your question was that how can colleges make you guys ready, right? I'm sure that many colleges are already doing this finishing program, teaching you everything apart from the curriculum already. They do that, right? So see, each institution is very conscious, right? Each institution is very serious also. It's up to you that how much you extract the information, how much you develop the personality on that, right? And anything which we all talked about, and probably we already answered from 130 onwards. We have been answering the question again and again. So I'll, at the cost of, risk of being a broken record, I'll say the same thing. Have few basic skills, your creative thinking, integrity, and then creative skills, problem solving, right? This will always help. Technology is just a medium, or anything that you do. Law is just a medium. If you are able to solve a case, it's just a medium, or probably interior designing, or all the things that you guys do. This is just like a different medium. But ultimately happens, are you able to solve a problem? Right? Are you able to think creatively? Are you able to innovate certain things to solve a larger problem in the society? This will really help you guys out. How to invest in yourself, right? How to invest in yourself is the personal choice that you have to make. Either you take it from your own reading, reading by, let's say, various self-help books, or going to the different courses, or how you do that, right? Because there are multiple courses that you do for yourself itself. It's like how you groom yourself, right? Sometimes you groom by going to the salon and probably get you groomed. Sometimes you do home grooming itself, right? It's up to you that how you do that. Options are available, right? Options are available, and what is right, what is wrong, what is not right, which will be completely in you. For you, let's say one-to-one mentoring will work. For you, some you say no, I'm a self-motivated guy. I'll try to do that. Right? So look at different vehicles which will help you in grooming to the next level itself, right? And so these are the things that you can generally look at.
Should I say ditto from the previous one? Ditto. I think we've all said the same thing. You have everything at your fingertips. Right? You have to decide what's important, because that's the key thing today with so much information available. You need to decide what's important, prioritize, and focus on that. Right? I think that's the most simplest answer I can give in the interest of time. He said 60 seconds, but I think information is available. It's for us to make sense of it.
Thank you. Actually, I was redundant. I was not required here. But Akhilesh asked me to come here. So thank you guys, and thank you young ladies for some really thought-provoking questions, and thank you panel for your illuminating views. I think, right? So thank you, Virat. Thank you, Amit. Thank you, Sirisha. Thank you, Administration. Thank you, Vinay. And thank you, everyone. Thank you.
MSR sir, just one comment. Since morning, a lot of the volunteers, very smartly dressed, have been taking care of us till now. I think a huge round of applause for all of them. Wouldn't have been possible without them. Same.
Will not take your camera. First of all, one big skill, don't listen to HR managers. I'll ask you why MBA is not important. Spending 45 lakhs. Thank you. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all for conducting the session. I think it was insightful. Also, I would like to specially thank all the leaders from NHRDN and Streetcars for being here. I know it was quite a session, and I think we as a team have taken away certain things on how to manage the crowd. I'm sure Meghna and we all will work together on this thing and we own it. But at the same time, I'm sure a bunch of you guys who've still stayed back listening to you guys are characters, man. So really big round of applause to all of you. Just being here for encouraging this session. At the same time, I'm sure there was some panic with the buses and all of that. But having said that, that's a takeaway for all of us and we will do that. Thank you so much.
Well done, guys.
Thank you, everyone.